Good evening, one.
It's that time of the month again. I've worked like 40 hours in the past 3 days, no need to ask how I am doing.
Alright then. I was about to say, good evening everyone. It's Sunday, it's Warframe time, and Flow with the perfect timing jumping in there with that 31-month resub. Thank you very much, Flow. The timing, as ever, impeccable. Don't need to ask how you're doing, but that is a lot of hours. 40 hours in 3 days. That's a lot of hours. Yeah, blimey. Do not work yourself into a hole, absolutely. But all the same, thank you very much for the 31 months resub there. Zom with the highlighted message, dropping in to say hi. Otherwise out with family, but at least you're not sick anymore. That's good to hear. Absolutely. Also, you want some pink? Alright, we can do some pink. Pink it is. It was true. But anyway, moving from all of that, hope everyone else is having themselves a wonderful time today. Today, we are going to be looking at the brand new augments that were added into the game recently, and a disclosure bit, because disclosure is a sensible thing to do. If we scroll on down just a little bit here, these were provided to me by the Warframe community team. So we're looking at Volatile Recompense for Calevo, Prismatic Companion for Citrine, Razor Mortar for Caliban, but first and foremost we'll be looking at Jade's Judgment for Jade, believe it or not. Well, those are what we are looking at there today, gifted to me freely by DE. So, what does it look like with Jade? First of all, let's grab Jade out of the arsenal. Absolutely. Gotta get past all the Mirror Life gift? Sure. Let's grab Jade out of the arsenal there. Cheers, Skeleton. And let's just have an empty conflict slot just to get started. Jade's Judgment. Let's upgrade this one to max. And see here. Enemies damaged by the well have a 5% chance per hit to spawn a Jade Light above them, damaging them for 3 seconds. We'll have to see just how good 3 seconds is, yeah. I imagine it's, actually usable, because otherwise why would they make it? Interesting, it's enemies damaged by the well. I need to remind myself as to where these wells exactly come from. I do believe it is from Light's Judgment. Create a well of light that heals allies and hurts enemies. But is it just that, or is there another well I'm unfamiliar with at this point? Because it has been a hot minute. It has been a hot minute. The reason I queried that is, there's always a possibility, but it is just Light's Judgments, isn't it? Alright, cool. So it is just the damage coming off of that there. Makes perfect sense. So with this then, chance of damage 5%, duration 3 seconds, max Jade Light 8. Interesting, there's a max on it. If I just start slapping on some of these adjusting mods, does that change things here? Yes. Duration goes down, chance to damage goes up. Okay then, so more strength means more likely to spawn one of these. That is very important. And I'm going to also assume that range has no effect, but maybe it'll increase the number of lights? Nope. Still max 8 on that, no effect there. Maybe it's an efficiency. No. Okay. So max Jade Light is the same. Efficiency is still just going to be efficiency cost of abilities. Range is still radius, things like that. The high strength and duration are relevant to the damage output on it. And that duration could be very, very interesting, considering I'm not seeing a damage stat on this. Why am I not seeing a damage stat is perhaps the most important question. So let's go see what the base effect is. Also, let's make sure there is no companion screwing around with that test. Welcome in, Aliu. Welcome in, Alsu. Also, thank you to both of you for helping out tremendously so far in the initiative to defend Stackmon and Leave Online. We are currently in the lead. Our side of the war is winning, which is a lot better than can be said for a lot of the Warzone, my word. There is only one other system I'm aware of in the entire Warzone, one other system, where suppression is above corruption. We are basically as defended as it's going to get. The only other system is the home system of the entire group. The entire malicious home system is, of course, defended. But we have the second line of defense. And we're doing a damn good job of it. Austin Gel fell completely? True. Austin Gel, that one's a write-off. There was absolutely no dealing with those off-time zone multi-box fleets. That's just... What's my favourite simulacrum? Ballroom, definitely. When I want a testing arena, a nice simple flat arena, no bells and whistles, works. Stackmon must hold. Mythic Spirit, thank you very much for your Prime sub there, up onto 28 months. Much appreciate on that, really do appreciate that altogether. Not just the sub, but the support of Stackmon. Now, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, it means you've been missing out on the pings over on Discord. Well, just the one ping. I've not been going crazy on it. But suffice to say, 1, we're talking about EVE Online. 2, there is our home system called Stagmon. And 3, pirates are literally invading it, trying to reduce the security of the system to turn off any police security and allow them to destroy ships and structures with impunity. We really don't want to let that happen. That's our home. So, yeah. We tried putting up a bit of a fight the previous system, but that was not going to happen. No home field advantage. Now we do have the home field advantage and are praying we can do our best with it. Anyway, enough about that. These are no concern. That's good. Let's see how this goes. Even Line seems really deep and neat. Are you afraid it's the sort of game you'd no life if you got into it? Yeah, it is a game that you can no life if you don't control yourself, sure. So you would need to manage oneself on that. Am I going to make more stuff related to Warframe and TTRPG? Maybe in future, no guarantees or plans at this point in time. So yeah, who knows? Watch that space, but don't watch it too closely. No current plans. Alright, so let's have a look at base effect. If I just drop this thing over here, unmodded, what happens? How long until we get that? We'll find out. We see 750 ticks from the base effect itself. There we go. We're getting some scaling up of something else there. That was very, very brief. That was very brief. I saw 4726 as the final effect there. Let me just back record that. That was exceptionally brief. Disappointing. Now this is unmodded flow. I would not judge it unmodded. Certainly for something that scales up over time. But I do want to see what's going on there to give us an idea as to where it can go. Those are indeed relevant details. Also, I noted that strength increases the chance of it occurring. Strength may end up also affecting the damage. That still needs to be tested. In base duration? Yeah, base duration is definitely very, very short on that there. So let's open this. Just loading up the good old video editing software that we saw on Friday. Once that's all loaded up, I'll be able to have a look at that replay there, see what happened. Most support stat is damage since it doubles damage per so duration to double damage per tick. Perhaps. If you have a higher starting base to come from, there is also that there, but duration is probably going to be the big one. Strength is also going to be big though for making them actually trigger. It's no point having loads of doubling if it never occurs. Hello there, Solomon. Alright. That's loaded. Let's give you guys the view of this. Here we are then. We've spawned in the target, went over to it, don't need to hear my talking in the background. And let's have a look what's going on with this then. Yo, Mirrorlabe, thank you very much for the gifted sub directly to Solomid there. Solomid, make sure you say thanks for that. It's very generous of Mirrorlabe right off the bat. Much appreciated. And puts us right next to a hype train as well. Let's scroll this along just a little bit. Alright, so first hit comes in. We got the 750s happening. Another 750, and then this comes in. 150 as the starting point of that beam there. 150 damage. Okay. This tick shows at 4609. We see a 750 from the area. And then 31 frames, or just over half a second later, we get the 300 with heat proc, so it's gone double. And then I'm guessing 09? Yeah, 1 frame later. Okay, so another half a second later, we're now at 600. 1200, 2400, 4800, and then the beam stops. Okay then. So it started at 150, 3, 6, 12, 24, 48. Doubling with every single tick, and those are 2 ticks per second. Interesting. Does the world's damage vulnerability work on Overguard? Not sure on that, sorry. That's not what I was looking at right here. I suppose that is something extremely wikiable, so let's have a look. Wiki for Warframe. Jade. Abilities. Light Judgment. Damage, health restore, buff. Hold on. Does the world's damage vulnerability? That's what I read. Oh, enemies in the world are debuffed by judgments. And judgments deal deliver damage vulnerability, right. The judgment applies damage vulnerability. Doesn't say anything about it being limited anywhere, it's just damage vulnerability. Could I do that with your build? No, thank you. Because if it does, that's 100 base. Okay. Well, let's just do another cast and see if we can get the beam before we get the judgment. Or it's actually instant, isn't it? Is it? Is it supposed to be instant, actually? Well, it's a chance, isn't it? Wait for it to go. Every enemy in the lights instantly gets it? Okay. Never mind, never mind, never mind. It's been a while since I properly looked into Jade, I'll be quite honest. Hard to keep all the frames in mind. Alright then. Let's have a quick gander at modifying this. So if I put on Intensify, we previously saw a 150 starting point. Do I see more than a 150 starting point? Let's make the damage numbers a bit bigger, so I don't have to go through replays every single time. There we are. Also, just adjust this back here. Okay. I'm hoping the damage numbers will be a bit more split up than that. Same end of 4800, same end of 4726 on the heat proc there. So that looks the same to me. Also, we just hit a free hype bonus giveaway threshold. Blimey, you guys are absolutely rocketing forward on that one. Let's address that, shall we? So, let's grab that there. Mark it as complete. And let's do a spin. Simple as that. You guys have just earned yourselves a spin on the giveaway spinner, so let's set that up, shall we? Here we go. These are all the options. We've got Omniform, a Form Bundle, Weapon Slots, Boosters, Orokin Catalyst, even a Legendary Core is on there. Let's do a quick free giveaway for y'all, because you've put enough points into it. We're going to do 3 Orokin Reactors today. We're going to do 3 Orokin Reactors. Alright, let's get the bot up for that. Let's get that up on here. There we go. And start. Type !hype me in the chat within the next minute for a chance to win that. 3 Orokin reactors. Only one person's going to claim all 3 of those. So these can be used to upgrade your Warframe, your Necromech. They can be used to upgrade your Companion. They can be used to upgrade your Archwing. That's where the Orokin reactors go. Give you all a moment to grab your tickets there. We can see all those names streaming on in. Absolutely. Everyone's got a chance of claiming it. Everyone's got a chance on that. Works on K-Drives as well? Wow, that's a waste. I think you can purchase a K-Drive for less than that for the cost of 1 Orokin reactor if you get one on the discount, so, you know. maybe definitely don't do the K-Drives for multiple reasons at this point. 10 more seconds on that. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and our winner is Radika. Radika, congratulations, you are the winner today of the triple Orokin reactor. And there he is, Radika has claimed that. Wonderful, you got the bot message come on through. The bot message will have all the details of what you need to send over there. Congratulations on that. Radika, you do seem to be rather lucky on these, don't you? By me. I suppose that just means Radika's around all the time, and that's pretty rad. Anyway, let's close off that there. That is that particular freebie giveaway, but if we do have hype trains throughout the stream, then we can have even more giveaways as well. I can absolutely look forward to that, should that come up. Meljo saying, I know the wiki's mentioning custodial to Augment, damage delayed by 1 frame, meaning you miss out on the final hit 100% duration. I've had 6 hits, which would be start, half a second, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5 seconds. And then 3rd second won't happen because, oh sorry, the start 3 seconds doesn't happen because we're starting it 1 frame in. There has to be a cutoff. Over the course of 3 seconds and half a second per hit, we'd expect 6 hits, and that's what I got. That is indeed what I got. So, that doesn't sound particularly cursed to me. It sounds more like people expected to get a little bit more than they should. You see the same thing with electric procs and gas procs. They will time out just before they would do their next hit, because you've already had the hits. If you give them the slightest extension, you get the extra hit. So if we, no, that's not what I'm looking at. If we go into here, we get a duration mod. Get the absolute shortest one I can that affects the correct duration. 5%? Is that the shortest? 4%? That's shorter. Can I go any shorter than 4%? Yes, I can. 2.5% ability duration. So this, by all theory, as the shortest duration increase I can give it, yep, this should give it that extra hit of 9600. This should do that. Let's test that. Let's wait for this to come through. 3, 6, 12, 24, 48, 9600. And we see the heat proc there just below 9600 as well. Beautiful. So that does show that the teeny tiniest duration increase does indeed have that effect there, which is as expected. That is good. Alright then, so we know that strength does not increase the laser beam damage. We do know that duration can increase the number of laser beam hits. Strength increases the chance for the laser beam to start up. Okie dokie. Let's now go for really high duration. Let's get every bit of big duration I can manage onto this real quickly. Archon continuity or prime continuity. Are we using enough heat to get? Actually, we are. So yeah, Archon. Oh yeah, that's not about heat. Let's just go with the durations for now. Then that's that. This one on here, and let's go for Nairo's hatred and Augment message. There we go. 321% duration. Okay. I don't need to test Arcane Ice Storm with 1 stack. If someone wants to have very little duration bonus, then sure they can. Molt efficiency, now that is a good shout. That can go on there. Molt efficiency, there we go. That'll give us another 36%. So this will be 357%. 357. Now, in terms of the duration there, let me grab my calculator. That's going to be important. 3 seconds times 3.57 gives us 10.71 seconds. So what is 10.51? That would be 351% duration. So this is currently giving us 357%. I don't think there is anything that's providing only 7% duration here, so we are as good as we can get for thresholds there as well. There's no wasted mod here, not giving us another proc, as it were. Again, Godly Shots, we're not looking to mess around with minutiae of duration numbers. I think 2.5% is good enough. So with this here, I think that's everything that we have. Yeah. Now there is some room that you could, instead of having 359, you can go down 1 pip on some of these things somewhere and have yourself 351 that way, or at least 351. We don't need to go to such an extreme. It's fine. So with this here, we should be having quite a few hits. Now, you know what? I'm actually going to get the number now. I don't want to wait for the game to show me it. I want to see it myself. So it's 357, not 359. 357%. 3.57 times 10. Times the 3-second base, 10.71. That is going to be a total of 21 hits. Which means if we go by 150 times 2 to the 20, the final hit should be a damage number of 157 million. 157 million. Yes, shells can give more, but I'm not going to the helmet system right this second. I'm sure you can understand why. Who's going to be first? Oh, it's this one first. Alright. Let's see if the numbers do go the way we want them to. Yep. That is a perishing right there. That is a perishing. That does indeed kill them. Good. But what happens if I allow them to move? Is it still so good then? Those zones are still ticking for a bit, aren't they? Let's give them a moment on that. That's one. And the other one, please. There we go. Okay, good. So let's give myself invincibility. Let's unpause the AI. Spawn this one in. Alright, we got the beam on him. It's following him pretty well. He seems, yeah, he seems dead. He seems pretty dead. That is good. But it's still a very tiny area. So let's work on improving that. Let's get some auras in here now. Let's go for a... growing power's not really going to matter, is it? It increases the chance of activation, but that's about it. I'll slap it on anyway. Why not? And why not a corrosive projection? Yeah. That's only a D polarity. That's slightly frustrating. Do I have a D polarity worth playing at this point in time? Don't think I do. There's not many D polarity auras, let alone worth of note. I don't need initial combo, that's for certain. Toxic resistance. No, thank you. There's aerodynamic, but I don't know if I really want aerodynamic, but it does give me a lot of extra capacity. Alternatively, I could just put on another Omniform at some point. Swap it off for no polarity. I actually just thought I could swap it off for the dash or V polarity down here, actually. In fact, yeah, because we were looking at corrosive projection. Let's swap it out for the dash. That makes perfect sense. There we are. Aerodynamic for the force energy? Not important enough. Not important enough. Alright then, so the other things I'm going to want now are range and strength. We've absolutely murdered our range. The radius is tiny. We can bring it up just a little bit with that. And then there is also the matter of strength. I could go blind rage. What's that going to do to our cast cost? Not terrible. So I could throw something like that onto here to get started with it. I am still concerned that the area is a bit small. It's 4.74 meters. I wonder if, honestly, just instead of stretch, overextended, yeah. There you are. Yeah, we lose some strength. Quite a chunk of it, but we gain a lot more range of cover. That could be interesting for us. Especially as the extra ability ticks twice a second as well. Those chances to damage stack up quickly. Cheers, left. Excess mod for range. Not a bad shout as well, yeah. Not a bad shout as well. Let's grab that there. We've got a Cunning Drift. There we go. And is there a good strength I can capture out here? Have I played with New Incarnate Scythe yet? Not as yet, no. And figured out what I wanted from Araxia. The guide will be out on Monday for that. So let's see. Max health basis. My max health is not where it's at. Camisado, not going to apply. Not going to apply. Not going to apply. Not going to apply enough. Not going to apply. I guess we'll get there eventually, or operator ability. Yep. There we are then, I suppose. Sure. Alright, that is a much bigger rep. Hey! Hang on! Wait, no! That's not how this works! There we are. Now we've got my beam. It's lovely and red. Alright, so the beam still does the beam thing, but yeah. That did take a moment to activate. That did take rather a moment. So, let's just change something of my loadout to force those zones to despawn, right? Yes? Nope, that's not how it works, apparently. We'll wait for a moment. How to look for in a group of 20? Oh, you read my mind. Alright then, that is all cleaned up. Let's spawn in a few more of these. Hello, you demons. Well, that's a few beams going. That is indeed a few beams going. Every single one of them is death when it occurs. It takes a while for it to actually follow through on said death, but it is death on every single one. They can't escape it. They're just not quick enough. They don't move like we do. But there is definitely a strong component of waiting. Very strong component of waiting. Godly Charles, not sure what your question is, sorry. You've just named something. We have our one survivor. Oh wait, no, 2 survivors. 2 of them untargeted. And one hiding over here. 3 survivors. Would viral increase its damage? Yes, because viral increases all damage to health. Now, it is time to start thinking about those increases. Let's see what we can do to just make this more effective. A strength bonus is unimportant. Deathbringer's damage bonus. It's a weapon damage bonus. I doubt that this counts as a weapon, but sure, let's try. And what was the other bonus? Spirit, that's going to be some defensive bonus, isn't it? Yeah, shield per second, shield recharge later. No. Alright, so let's just spawn in the 1 again. Boost is active. Let's see if things change. I think it won't, but let's see. That's looking the same to me. That is the same. That is exactly the same. No change there. Okay. Is the chance to damage per light's judgment? Interesting question. Very hard to test. Enemies damaged by the well have a chance to spawn Jade Light. I mean, can they get damaged by multiple wells at once? Let's see. So we've got a 6% chance to... Oh, no, that's going to be a pain in the ass to test right now. That's something I can test off stream when I don't mind doing a whole load of just absolute drudge work. But on stream, that's just... I don't want to do that. Not right now. Not right now, thank you. Okay, so... We know that this doesn't seem to have any effect on it. Does ability strength increase the damage? Nope. Often Demise is a defense strip, so it only increases damage insofar as that they take less damage at other times. That's not really a damage increase that we're looking for. And then Glory on High. Use Ultimate Fire to detonate judgments. We don't want to detonate judgments. But also can apply judgments with its attacks. But it's a fixed 10% chance by the look of it as well, which is... it's something. But even then, it's judgments. It's not wells. So it does just come down to this on the base kit. Any buffs are going to be external to that. Which is a little teeny tiny bit sad, but it's a thing. Just verifying that status effects have the intended effect. If we grab the... Let's grab a Gamma Core. How often do I use a Gamma Core? So this is a fire rate status chance focus. This is going to give me some magnetic procs. That'll be fine. Let's grab our target. Let's give them a gentle little tickle. Just going to keep those procs up until... There's a beam. Well, that is definitely quite a bit more damaging, yeah. And then the damage hops off for a moment, but then jumps back up. The resulting heat proc was lower because they actually took more damage sooner, but then stopped taking it. So we didn't need as much doubling. That was weird. Definitely weird to think about. But all the same, it did amplify the damage as expected there. So that's going to be the same for Viral as well against health. So what's the practical use case? This is most likely going to come off of one of the original builds. Speaking of the original builds, oops. Kind of broke that one, didn't I? At least that one still worked. Okay. What did I have on these builds? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's move that over, but I'm still missing the drain from combat discipline. And there was previously a dash priority mod down here. Yeah. Let me just go to my Patreon real quick. That's where I store all the builds after videos as well. For those who don't want to skip through the videos, they can just skip on over to the Patreon side of things. If I go to my library, and we just search Jade. Builds for Jade. Let's have a look then. So on the Judgment build, Equilibrium is what fell off. Okay. That would fit. Yeah, because this is -9. Ah, What a mistake at the maker. Alright, can I bring that back? Switch that back to a deep polarity. Move a dash over here somewhere. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Alright, let's do that. There we go. I'll just put some other aura up here. The corrosive projection is an idea, but it doesn't need to stay there. Let's just put aerodynamic back. Call it good. And what did I just take off? I took off the duration mod, which was mostly there because we wanted maximization, but let's have a look at further later. This means I can now fix up this with how it was supposed to be. I had that on. There we go. And then What's the other one? Armageddon build. When we moved that back, it was Constitution. That was there. There we go. Okay. Good, good, good. So, with that extreme amount of duration, we do well in actually getting the kill. But I'm not sure it's really what one could consider a full build. Out of these prior builds, the Armageddon build had the closest set of stats to what we're looking for now, which is the high duration. This, however, is Nourish over that, which is no bueno. Alright, a lot of thinking needs doing on this. Can we cook a Dedicant? Let's just cook a Dedicant real quick. Yeah, sure, why not? One Scout of Dedicant. Going right up. Hey, bucko, have this. Damage is coming in. No attenuation at the moment. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, that was some powerful attenuation right there. Okay. Let's just go back to what happened there, shall we? Let's get the instant replay on that one. That was a little bit excessive, if I do say so myself. Right. Let's just zoom this back out. Move ourselves over here. Right, here we are, here we are. Okay. So, we're getting the judgments off. The well itself is hitting for 1043 per tick. So if you see 1043, it's from the main ability, not from the augment. Here we get the first beam coming in. Right there. 150 smacks up onto it. Why it's behind the old numbers, I don't know, but that's how that works. 150, followed by 300, 600, 1200, 24, 48, 96, 19200, 38400, all as expected so far. The overguard is beginning to feel the pain. We then have, what was that, 76,800, followed by 153,600, again, all as expected so far. Just putting a lot of damage into that overguard. 260,271. Now this is not double, but that's because we are now hitting the armor. So there is damage reduction from armor. So after 260,271, what's the next tick? Oh boy. 98,130. Now, maybe a lot of that is coming off of the back of overguard on the 260, so this could still just be a part of the process. So what's the very next hit? After the 98, which was fully on armor, what do we get next after 98? 125,748. Now this is definitely some form of attenuation kicking in. No question about it, definitely some form of attenuation, because 98 does not double to 125. What comes next after 125? 125. 125,300 something, when before it was 748. And then, after 125, we get 119! We've doubled our damage from 125k to 119k. This is how doubling works. Everyone knows that when you double a number, you get a smaller number. Everyone knows that's how that works. Absolutely, of course. No surprise to anyone there. After 119, we get the normal 263 proc, who cares about that? 107,000! Yes! We've quadrupled from 125 to 107. It's amazing. It's amazing how the math works out. A lot of you think it isn't that way, but it always is. And now it's 105,000. It's a lovely steady rate. 101,000. 101,000. 276 down from, was that 859? Yep. 859. Again, don't know why it's behind some of the numbers, but sure. And then we're back to 100,000. Look at all the lovely zeros on that. And then the beam ends. And then Edkin takes... Sorry. The beam has ended. There are 21 status procs on the target. The beam has ended. 21 status procs. It takes 100,641 damage. And then on the next tick, it takes... Come on, don't be shy. 111,644. Because the damage attenuation is now springing back. And so the exact same proc does more damage a second later. Because the main beam has stopped damaging it. And then 135,000. And at this point, a new beam starts. It starts with 43 damage. It starts with 43 damage. The base is 150. There's damage reduction due to armor, and there's damage reduction due to attenuation here. I've sapped half the armor out. So that should be 1350 armor. They times it by 3, and then square root for the damage reduction, so that'll be 63.6%. So yeah, if it were not for attenuation, I'd expect a hit here of 54. 54 or 55, but we're seeing 43. Because attenuation is still that far in effect. And 43 is followed by 96, because again, fuck you doubling. Now we're going to double harder than doubling because we're coming off the back end of attenuation. So yeah. It can kill a Dedicant at level, what was that, 200? Yeah, 200. It can kill a Dedicant this way, using the most duration I could put onto it, and the only thing that scales up the damage from the ability itself is indeed duration. But it resists the hell out of the idea that it should be killed. Which is more than a little bit bonkers when you think about it. I don't even want to know the answer to the question, what level of Xmas is required to successfully tank the beam as well as the Dedicant does? I don't want to know just how far down that rabbit hole we have to go, but that is a terrifying result. Okay. So, taking it from there, more duration is more duration is more duration is more duration. It's pretty obvious, but I feel like we can get more power in other ways. It's not going to be from normal casting stats. That is right out. The thing that comes to mind next, unfortunately, is good old bloody Raw, but we don't need to go down that road just this second. What we can do is lose a little bit of duration to gain a whole new feature, not with that mod there apparently. That mod does not want to swap out. Oh, we don't need Cunning Drift right now. There we go. So Arc of Vitality is going to double heat procs applied. It doesn't actually say that correctly. It doesn't tell you the truth about what's going on, but it's fine. Unranked Vitality? Nah. Okay. Dedicant. I just want to see the number of heat procs. That's all I'm going to be looking for right this moment. The damage numbers are the damage numbers. It's a Dedicant. And the heat procs are coming in 2 by 2. So previously it ended on 21. This time it's going to end on 42. Yep, there it is. 42 procs. And having doubled the number of procs on the Dedicant, it takes exactly the same amount of time to die. Ah! I hate damage attenuation on basic units. I begrudgingly accept its purpose in other situations, but on basic units, they don't have good drops. They don't even have mediocre drops. They have whatever that's supposed to be. Anyway, it is what it is. Dedicants are stupid. I've been saying this for a while now, and others have been saying it for even longer because they picked up on it faster than me. Kudos. Point is, Dedicants are stupid. Yeah. But Dedicants aside, this gives us plenty of damage output. Takes some time to kick in, but it does definitely get there. If that were our only focus, then we could just go for a full duration build, but we kind of want to have the rest of the build somewhere so as not to die, for starters. Let's see, so this one I went with a adaptation primary direction approach, and I presume using my Spirit of Resilience to assist in some amount there, or Arcane Aegis, that works too. On this Armageddon build, this was built as a health tank approach, which certainly can work. Not much of a health tank, to be quite honest with you. Just a little bit of a health tank, and then otherwise reducing damage whilst airborne was the style there. Fair do. Alright. And budget build be budget build. That's not a starting point. Look at this one here. I feel like I should be able to just copy those details over to config D and then run with it from there. But maybe leaning... See, I do kind of want both range and strength and not efficiency. Maybe I'm just not copying that at all, to be honest. We've got our Arc and Vitality on here. We've got the Augment taking up a slot. Let's grab Aviator. And then where would Adaptation go into this? I don't want to lose Overextended. Adaptation is taking up 12 or 10, something like that. I could put a Former over the message here, take that out for Adaptation. I could do that. And I'm just not even using Mob Vigor. I don't think I activated it more than once. Up now, minus to have to catch up on range. That's a lot of duration to miss out on, though. That is a lot of duration to miss out on. Now, if I go with this for the moment, let's slap one of these Omniformers in here. Thank you, Miralabe. There we go. That can come out. Grab our Adaptation in here, because a health tank is always fun to utilize. And let's combine that with... I want to be Lazy Grace, to be honest. Do I have the mid-rank narrow-minded? I actually do have a mid-rank narrow-minded for exactly the purpose of utilizing a lower range debuff at times. So that could go into here. But I don't know that I'm going to need the range to that extent. I suppose I could drop the overextended at that point, but then I've still got a load of strength and I'm not going to do it less. It just seems a little unnecessary. That's a guess. Okay. This will do the trick in terms of at least getting half an idea as to the viability. We've got a health tank that kind of carries itself forwards. We've got the massive amount of duration. We got a little bit extra into range and strength to help make things both apply and proc. And let's equip just a good old doesn't get in the way companion. The good old doesn't get in the way features. Why not? I don't want that. I want that. Alright. Let's pop out of here. Let's just take this into a basic Steel Path Exterminate to get started. Just see what happens with it. Let's just pop ourselves into an RO. I don't know how this is going to go. It's been a long time since I've played Jade, and to be quite honest, I'm going to be trying to rely almost entirely on the ability just to see what the ability does.
Their rage is vehement.
Like Exterminate is maybe the worst case disorder? Maybe.
Give them all warriors death.
Alright, so beams are starting to happen, which is good. It is cooking anyone that it hits, which is good. That is giving us work done. I hate saying this every single time status damage comes up, but this feels like a candidate for the mecha set. It's yet another case of lots and lots of damaging status effects. Why would I not mecha set it? Let's shrink those damage numbers back down again, so I can actually see the keep doing that. See the enemies as they immolate. Hello, Mori. It's been an interesting new event. We're just kind of waiting for them to get cooked. There we go. When the beam hits them, it hits them. Oh, I thought I was about to step out, whatever. Leveling up Jade there gave us energy max. And just gave us our energy back, so it's kind of slightly cheating. It is a low chance of happening, so we are waiting a while on some targets. He's been marked for this entire time over here. Still not burning. Anytime you're ready, bucko. This one's going to come in close, so let's do that. There we go, it's him cooked. No? Still not interested in belting? Can I interest you in another zone? I'm about to run out of energy here, guys. Can you perish? I'm already bored of being in this mission. Already bored of being in the mission. Okay, so let's see. Mecha set approach. Given the way the mecha set can work, I could even swap out adaptation for the other mecha mod. Going with Roar over 4. I mean, do you want us to throw away your ability to fly? Not sure on that. So, mecha. Alright then. Yeah, let's throw out that for a moment. I've not been using it properly. Mecha. Not Mecha Pulse, alright. Mecha Empowered goes into there. There we go. That's beautiful. Mecha Pulse over this convenient omnipolarity right here. Slap it in. Actually, I can just move Blind Rage to it. Even better. Got some starting energy to work with as a result. Just kind of throw stuff out, see what happens. Did I not put Equilibrium on here? I didn't know. Yeah, so I am missing actually a lot of really important stuff. So let's slot that in over this one. There we go. A little bit more energy income assured. Again, just trying to get the vibe of the effects. I didn't equip a Mecha Companion. That would help. Should definitely have a Mecha Companion if I'm going to use a Mecha set. With the Wells providing HP regen, could try swapping Arcane Grace out. True, I suppose. Yeah, I can utilize the healing of those if it is sufficient. Yeah. Yeah, I could do that. Purple Archon shards? I'm not looking at the Archon shards right now, but thank you for the suggestion. Grace out, and let's just keep my energy support in. Energize in, why not? I know I've got Equilibrium that doesn't really synergize if I energize, but energy support is in. For the moment. Now, the thing with Archon shards is because they have a cost attached to, well, unattaching them, experimenting with them can become costly and problematic very quickly. So they are the last part of focus. Oh, fuck. Fuck, fuck. This is what happens when there's too many things to think about. Let me get out. Fucking skip. Right. Okay then. yes, long animation of I've left a mission. Thank you very much. Cool, whatever. Moving on. Let's grab the one companion that I have set up, ready to use this. Huin, there we go. Now let's go in. It's only a few seconds, but it's just painful. I see the raffle commander's not working. Let me turn that one on. I must have forgotten to do that. I thought I had, but sometimes the bot decides otherwise. Should work now.
Your enemies have grown
Right then.
fierce. Use all that you have learned.
Thank you for the definitely on the ground effect there. Much appreciated. Anyway, there's our mecha mark. Do the thing. Come on. Why is he run? That's the wrong one. Still the wrong one. Damn it, dog, you just ate him. Don't eat the mark. There we go. Okay, cool. Burnination is happening. Was that it? I feel like there should have been more to it than that. Where was everything? Huh. I genuinely thought that enemy was right behind the door. Let's leave them to cook for a moment. Throw a number of these over here. I'm probably going to run out of energy as a result of that. Alright, here's our marked target. Get in the zone, please. Actually, we'll do this. Oh, it died. God damn it. Yo! Elsefia, thank you very much for raiding on in with your party there. Hope you found yourself a wonderful stream. We're in the midst of testing some augments here on Warframe, specifically the Jade augment. If my dog will stop killing things, that would be great. Thank you very much for the raid. Hope you've had a good time. Alright. We're just going to leave those ones to it. Low efficiency is definitely hurting a bit here, but I don't think it'll be this bad, to be quite honest with you. Can we not bite them to death? Okay, I guess we're biting them to death. Where is the next mark? Oh, it's on this guy. Alright, come on. Show me something cool. That did not go very far at all. That did not go very far at all. Okay, yeah. We did ETA, started building some things, grinding for a new core, productive stream. Hey, that's good. I think you'll enjoy the new core if you've not had it before. Absolutely. Where's a mark? There's got to be a mark somewhere in all of these enemies. The thing is, I don't want to have to be hunting the mark. I want to be just having the effect, and the mark just makes it better. Yeah, I'm not seeing what I'm wanting to be seeing here with this. Okay, let's go for a different mission type. Give my dog the pacifist claw stance mode. Let's see what he's currently set to. I think it's set to chase down Xmas, which is usually a good idea. Alright, let's see. Hello, Nidus. Yeah, so it is currently on the Xmas Hunter. So let's go for the avoid. Yeah, I'll use it avoid. Let's see if that even works. And I'm going to switch this over to a survival instead. Survival is very high enemy density, so that'll be a better situation to try and get mecha marks to do amazing stuff. Have we got a spanner height bonus? Have we got the community one? Not at the moment. One was completed earlier on stream, so I haven't restarted a new one as yet.
Give them all war.
We've had a freebie already today. Excuse me.
They have just shut down all systems. I'm sending life support capsules your way.
Alright, let's take to the sky. Can't see the mark yet. It's this one over here. I think everyone but him is being beamed in this area. There we go. Alright, so this one's been beamed. He's getting procs on him. Beautiful stuff. Those procs are hurting. Spread the procs. Is it me or did the dog just not spread the procs? It's not very... Oh, and now it kills everything. Fucking great. Right. So, Mecha Mark is nowhere to be seen. If I sit my own beams, is it bad for me? Thankfully not. Good.
Life support on the way.
I have no idea where the Mecha Mark is. Oh, but the dog knows, because suddenly everything's on fire. Or maybe it just killed an enemy by default, and that was spread from not the mecha set. Seriously, Mecha Mark? Mecha? Anything with Mecha Mark on it?
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area.
No?
Activating it will buy you more time.
I genuinely don't see where the target is. I hate this part of the mecha set so much. Like, hey, look for the marked enemy. Why are we quietly whispering it in the corner? Show me the mark. Oh, that's not going to happen, is it? If the mark was marked on the minimap, if there was a literal marker using the marking system we have, this one. Okay. You there, who are nearly already dead somehow. That was pathetic. That was pathetic, and I want a refund. Okay, do we have a new mark anytime soon? Please.
Get ready for a capsule.
Okay. I think I'm picking up what this is putting down. And that is, keep wishing about the mecha set. It's too powerful to be made usable.
Additional life support has arrived.
How many kills were we even on? 183? Huh. No, don't try and counter beam me. That doesn't work. Oh, mark. There's a mark. Okay. I can do nothing to enhance this. I just need you to be targeted by the beams. Here's another one on your face. That mark is definitely going to have expired. Yeah, we have a new mark over here. Yep. Oh, bollocks. Alright, I'm back. Come on. I mean, at this point we can pretty much write it off as an idea. This idea is not coming to any kind of fruition right now. I'm not sure what the game will want from me for this, but it ain't any of this. Oh, defeat so many enemies as operator counts enemies which are defeated by something that is not operator whilst in operator. Sure, that makes sense. Huh. I think he had 69 procs on him, which was pretty nice. But that's being spread by Contagious Bond. That's nothing to do with Mecha Set.
The operative has just made their first discovery. Keep up the good
Okay,
work.
does this kill Torment?
When you are ready, go to extraction. You are running
Wow,
out of
that
time.
beam stays on them pretty
Consider
well.
extraction.
The beam teleports to them. Also, he survived by going invulnerable during the high damage phase, which I consider a form of cheating. And now he's never going to be targeted again.
Tenno,
Yep, no
extraction
targeting.
is ready.
My guy. Where did he even go? There he is. And life support is about to run out. Got it in the nick of time.
Critical life support levels. Extraction is your best option.
Okay, I'm being teleported to the stairs. Sure, that's a thing that we can do. I'm still not seeing another beam on him. Or apparently any damage on him at the moment. There we go. Mecha Set is on this guy's burning. Maybe this will work. Not amazingly. And Torment is still giving absolutely no shits about what is happening around him. Yep, survived the entire beam. Pop shrink version by 2 to increase chances? Yeah, I suppose. That's the wrong one. There we are.
Critical life support levels. Extraction is your best option.
That has given me 35% strength, which isn't going to do a lot to the chances, but it's there. Bro, just get set on fire again, please.
Another life support capsule is now available.
Yeah, you mentioned alt fire. Let's do that. Bam. Well, that was also bad. I'm going to get out of this mission now.
Consider extraction.
I'm going to get out of this mission. I'm not sure what I can do with this to make it worthwhile. The chance to activate, coupled with just needing so much duration for it to get to any reasonable amount of damage. I'm not seeing it. I'm not picking up the vibe of what I want from this arcane in this case.
What you have learned here.
Like,
will
even
serve
just as an added feature to her one, it doesn't really do a lot in the first place. It takes a while to get somewhere, and that means specifically building into it. So yeah, this does feel... it feels novelty, yeah. You think the exponential scaling just isn't right? Starts too low, gets out of hand, it takes too long to do so. I don't know if I'd say it gets out of hand, to be quite honest with you. It starts at 150. And then, what's the absolute maximum duration one can get out of things? Bear in mind, if you go absolute maximum duration, you're missing out on other features. But let's see here. I've taken off two of the smaller duration bonuses, 28% and 24%. I've taken off the 15% there. So theoretically, if I could have those in as well, 28, 24, 15, another 67% duration on top of the 254, plus another, what's it, 75 maximum from Archon Shards, which I'm assuming I have no Archon Shards for duration at the moment. Yeah, that is correct. Plus, I think you can get 100 from Invigorations. I think it's 100% when Invigoration gives you a duration bonus, which will give 496% duration, which would give us 14.88 seconds, and that is 29 ticks. So we'd have, on the last hit, it would be 150 multiplied by 2 to the 28, because the first tick is tick 0 in that scaling, which would come out to 4 times 10 to the 10 damage, or 40 billion. So if we absolutely maximize all of our duration stat, we can get 40 billion. But if we can't go that high, if we just focus on duration modding, so no Archon Shards, no Invigoration, we get 321% duration, which is 9.6 seconds, which is 19 hits. And so 150 times 2 to the 18, the biggest hit at the end is 39 million. Now, and again, that's 39 million damage after 19 seconds. There's damage along the way as well, so it's taking more, but yeah. And the Mecha set, I swear it just was not doing anything worthwhile with that, despite the fact that the heat procs were entire amount of the damage, because the heat proc is 50% of the DPS, of the damage per second, based on the original hit, but it can be lower if you've got various other things getting in the way. We would just gain 50%. As a 90 seconds, sorry, not 90 seconds, 19 procs, which is 9 seconds. My bad, yeah. 9.5 seconds to get to that. My bad. Still a long time. So, Archon Vitality here doubling up those heat procs. The heat proc damage is going to be the sum of all of those hits combined per second. But you still have to get to that point. And here's the thing, if we say that it has a 5-second time to kill, let's go with 5 seconds. Actually, what would 5 seconds give us? 150 times yeah, times 2 to the 9. The last hit would be at that point 76,800. So yeah, 5 seconds is like the ballpark starting point of killing Steel Path enemies, I'd say. Some of the weaker ones, perhaps. So let's just run with a 5-second time to kill. You've got some other buffs going on. That's how it comes out. It's a 5-second. Is this going to be spawning enough of those beams to give us a 5-second time to kill? It's good enough. Yo! Stubborn Psycho, thank you very much for the raid on into the channel here. Much appreciated. I hope you've had yourself a wonderful stream. Thank you for bringing over your community. Cheers on that. So, yeah, just look at this Jade Augment here. I don't think that's going to reach it, to be quite honest. I don't think that's going to reach it. If you've got a chance to proc every half a second, and let's, at the moment with the strength I'm running here is 139, so 5 times 1.39, that is 6.95. Let's call it a 7% chance to activate. Okay? 7% chance to activate. We need it to activate... Well, actually, it's independent of how quickly it kills, now I think about it. Yeah, it is independent of how quickly it kills, because if it takes 9 seconds, or 5 seconds, or 2 seconds, it almost doesn't matter. We just need to have enough beams happening simultaneously so that our kill rate is there. That's the real question. So, if I want a kill rate of 100 kills per minute, then I need to be spawning 100 beams per minute. how many enemies do I need to have in the beams to spawn 100 beams per minute? Would increasing range increase chance more lasers spawn as first ability hits more enemies? Yes, by all theory, but it's more a case of balancing that all out. Not even possible with beam cap? So the beam cap will be a question of, are they dying quick enough to let me spawn new beams? Yes. And in fact, yeah, we can work back from that. If we've got a beam cap of 8... Yeah, it says max Jade Light's 8. But is that an actual cap? Wait. No, I could have sworn I saw more than 8. Happy to say, assuming a 5-second kill time and 8 beams, you can kill max 96 enemies per minute. Yeah, it might be per well. Hold on, let's have a look at that. Let's test that detail. Let's get some dedicants, because they don't die so easily. It has a use. I definitely had more than 8 in survival. It felt like I had more, but I want to have a look at this, see if I can untease what's going on with that. Is it that it's 8 per well, or is it that it's just broken? Which of the two? Or 3 that we just remember wrong? You wonder if Glory could kill Dedicant faster? I think the whole point of damage attenuation is you can't kill them faster, Zom. Not unless you mercy kill. What kind of spaghetti we uncovered today? Dedicant's tank, but that's not really spaghetti. Okay, so big old zone there, whole bunch of them marked. 3 beams, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7? Okay. But how much of that is related to chance? Let's kill this lot and get a new bigger area, because I wasn't hitting them all. Let's get a bigger area. So let's take off the narrow-minded for now. I don't really care about the duration that much. I can put on a message to buff that back up a bit. I just want to paint the large area. Need to actually summon them. New to Warframe, is there a difference on clans like Ghost, Storm, Mountain, etc.? The difference is how many max members they're allowed, and therefore how much the cost of everything is in their clan to research. So if a clan can have a max of 10 members, then it'll have a cost based on 10 people. But if they can have a max of 100 members, the cost goes up tenfold to match that. And so if they don't have as many active people, problem. Alright then, that's covering a pretty wide area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then quite conspicuously, new beams appear once the old one's out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's definitely 8 beams on the one area. Are we going to get more than 8 beams now? There's overlapping zones here, so maybe not. Okay, let's kill these ones off, get a new area. I'm going to do 2 side-by-side zones that's just about overlap. Might be a little bit hard to place, but let's try. Let's see, 1 on the end there. Oh, that's good, actually. 1 over here. No actual overlap, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is just 8. It's not 8 per zone. It's just 8. Let's kill these off, give it one more review, just in case chance was getting in the way. Yay, chance-based mechanics. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Guess was deceiving the survival. That's the thing, is that when you see a lot of thing happening, the amount of lot can be really confusing. This is why we double check on tests. So yeah, there we go then. Because of the spawn cap and the DPS ramp, or damage ramp on it, not DPS, well, a bit of both, I suppose, that gives us the cap as to how much it can kill. So maximum of 8 Jade Lights. If we were to have a 100, and that is baseline just about getting over the line of Steel Path survival, if we were to have 100 kills per minute and 8 simultaneous beams at max, we need them to die. Yeah, we need to have 12.5 enemies per beam. And assuming one beam is replaced the moment the old one ends... Yeah. 60 seconds divided by 12.5. That is 4.8 seconds. And because it ticks every half a second, that is going to be 4.5 seconds. So that is 10 hits. Yeah. Enemies need to die within 10 hits. And that is going to be, on the biggest hit, 150 times 9, 2 to the 9. And that biggest hit is 76,800 damage. Now if it's 76,800 on the last hit, the one before is half, and then half again, half, half, half. When you do a sum of halves like that, it comes out to just under twice the the final hit there. So if we times that by 2 once more, we would keep up the kill rate if and only if Light's Judgment was applying all 8 beams as perfectly as possible to enemies with an effective hit points of 153,000 or less. Don't think the beam hits multiple enemies? Let's test that. It's going to be a little bit difficult to test. No, I do know how to test that. I have an idea. So, let's grab you, Vazarin. New secondary? Nah, let's do it the old school way. Not you. That way. There we go. I've given myself a shield now. Oops. But yeah, that's a big old scooper-rooper. Let's grab that. Let's grab some Elite Lancers. Always fun to mess with the Elite Lancers. And let's give myself a much smaller zone, so I definitely only hit one of them. Plenty of time for it to work, but I just want to hit the one. Okay. There we go. He nearly fell out of the zone, actually. Give him a moment. Wait, what? Of all the possibilities, I did not have that one. Oh my. Okay, let's see that again, please. Come on. Are you not in the... Did you stumble out of... Oh my fucking... Right. Why is the beam attached to the head? Also, the damage seems to stop when they're ragdolled, like that. This has never happened to me before. This has never, ever, ever happened to me before. Right. Maybe we do use the Sciotid. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it.
Another pun? How humiliating.
What was the pun? Sciotid doesn't ragdoll? Yeah, yeah. So, let's just cook one of you. Stay in the zone, thank you. Wait for the beam, wait for the beam. There we go. They are all burning from it. Okay. Okay, that works. Honestly, I was skeptical that it was going to work, but that did work. Good. We may have something. So, on top of needing obscene amounts of duration, we're also going to need to have some kind of appropriate grouping ability. Maybe not necessarily non-ragdoll. It could be that just Vazarin doesn't work well with it. Yeah. So, how are we going to do that best? Chorus 2, I think that might be about our best option. It doesn't feel like a great solution, but it might be the best we've got. Does it attach to the head if they're already ragdolled or beam is summoned? I'm going to assume yes, but I leave that as an exercise to the viewer. Okay, so what am I removing here? Have I even been using this at this point? I haven't. So let's remove Symphony of Mercy. Why not? I mean, I've not been using Off-Nim Eyes either. And it's going to be even less effective to me. So let's remove the Off-Nim Eyes, actually. Yeah. Okay. Of course I need to feed the bastard. Let's give him some grubbins. There you go, you greedy sword. Have some stuff. That's him fed up. Alright then. So, yeah, put it over the 3 on config D. There we are. Again, guys, don't take away from this that Ragdoll doesn't work. Take away from this that Vazarin's grouping ability didn't work. We don't know that that's a Ragdoll thing, because we've not tested other Ragdolls yet. We only know that it's a no bueno for Vazarin. Okay? Do not jump to conclusions just yet. What my next focus is can we get enough grouping for this to be really valuable with something like Ensnare? Subsume Lava to check? Yes, I can do that, and I can get around to that. But first, let's check this. Alright. So we have our Elite Lancers. These should perish just as before. Problem, ranged. I only want one of them affected. Okay, what range do I have? 2.4. What's your range? Yeah, that won't pull them in. Okay, need to be tactical with this range for the test. Yo! J Dukan, thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs out to the community there. It's gone out to Pindrag, to Pollux ZM, to Mike G927, to Solidor Prime, and to Dark Elf MD. JJ Dukan, thank you very much for that there. Much appreciated. I hope you have yourself a good day. It's your first ever gifted subs in the channel, no less. Much appreciated. Okay, so range adjustment. Range. Let's go for the downranked narrow-minded. Let's see, this brings this to a 5.8 radius, so that should be able to combine off the one in the middle. And this has a 3.4 radius, so shouldn't affect the ones out to the side. That's almost perfectly precise. Let's do that. Okay, so slap that there. Only they are getting cooked at the moment. Give it a moment for it to come together. Wait for it. Wait for it. I'm actually going to pull this one. I don't know if any of that works. If he's not going to get beamed, it's definitely not going to work. There we go. Okay, let's use this one, actually. Because that should pull this one, I'll pull that one. Or is it too far? Shit, it's too far. Well, I have had better plans. Sorry. You can say I've been watching you for a while now. Got into Warframe. Love Lavos from day one because of you. Oh, thank you. Look like your little range. Yeah, my range was based on webbing or ensnaring the one in the middle, but then I thought angle that's going to pull the others into beams. That might make an effect on stuff. We'll see. Yo, Dugan, thank you very much for the 1,050 bits as well. Very much appreciated. Cheers on that. Thank you. Alex as well asking, will there be any more hype bonus giveaways on this stream? Honestly, if people like JDuke can have anything to say about it, absolutely yes. For every single level of hype train we complete on this stream, there is another round of giveaways. Every single level. So if we hit a level 5 hype train, and complete it, that is, then that's 5 more giveaways on top of the Platinum giveaway we've got at the end of the stream as well. By the way, exclamation mark ticket for those of you who aren't in the Platinum giveaway. Outside of the freebie one, which we've already had today, the only way to make those giveaways happen is to trigger those hype trains. Yeah. Would Nice's 2 be better? Don't know, haven't tested it yet. Give it a moment, please. That's too early, but it tests... Okay, yes, that's not going to pull the others in. And that, if nothing else, confirms that this pull is not enough. Look at that there. That's just... I mean, is that not a perfect demonstration of just how ineffective that was? Okay. Let's try a stronger range and see if I can pull everyone together into that zone. Take that out entirely. Slap you back over here. Do the inverse of it. Is this good enough? Slap you in. Drag you all together. Okay, so yes. A couple of them were close enough to each other to share some procs. But not very. Was a new secondary good at grouping? Yes, we're looking at ability focuses for the moment. I do find it really weird they created a grouping secondary, not gonna lie. Yes, I am aware of this IOTID. Welcome on everyone who has arrived in the last 6 minutes. I am aware of this IOTID. I have it equipped. Thank you. Right, is there any better we can get out of Ensnare here? I doubt that we can. Let's group them first. Let's group them all off of this guy. Okay, so that caused these lot to be grouped right on top of each other. So when one of them gets beamed, at least one other is likely to be burning with it. Oh sure, let's just flank this guy and fire. Yeah. So there is a multi-hit to it. There is a very, very small AoE. Or rather, no, it's not even AoE. It's when the hitboxes overlap. Question is then, why was the Ragdoll not doing it? Let's go back to Ray's question a moment, actually. Let's go back to Ray's question. So... are they just not being damaged by the zone at all at the moment? They're not. When ragdolled, they're completely unaffected by the zone. This is getting weirder. This is getting really weird and I don't like it. What even is this? How even is this? Makes airburst an option? No, because airburst isn't Vazrim. I haven't tested that yet. Please, people, come on. I have to read your messages. Don't make me read so many conclusion jumps. I'm going to go test lava now, and then airburst, and then we can put to bed, one way or the other, the matter of ragdoll. If you jump to a conclusion of every ability based on one, you're doing it wrong, and I will call you out for it. This isn't even the augment they coded in 20 minutes on stream. I'm sure they did more work with it after that, but sure. Alright. Airburst. JJ Dukan, thank you very much for your subscription for yourself there at Tier 1. Welcome into the channel proper. Enjoy your lovely ad-free viewing and all the other bits and pieces that come along with that. Absolutely. Alright, let's give this a whirl.
You are a true hunter.
I appreciate the offer there, Aliu. That might end up being a worthwhile consideration, yes. Could you get yourself a... yeah, any lava-equipped frame ready, whether it's Nidus or another that doesn't need to stomp first. Does Nidus? No, Nidus doesn't need to stomp first, does he? Yeah, so just Nidus. If you'd be so kind, Aliu. Thank you, Dugan. Alright. You miserable lot. Get jaded. Yeah, so it does seem like ragdolling is breaking the beams entirely. Good lord. What even is that? This has surely got to be some kind of bug that they want to fix. I mean, surely. Alright, Eliu, have you got that frame to hand, that Nidus you're offering? If so, do send me a message in game, you know how to do that. I'm just going to hang for a moment. You know, just got to wait for you to drop by. There we are. Okie dokie. Let's load us in. If they fix that, the augment could potentially be remotely decent. We're putting in a lot of work trying to make any of this happen, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to set this down. There we go. Group them up, please. Any second now. Okay, I feel like Ellie has not in fact been watching the stream and doesn't understand how this works. Yes, we're grouping them. There we go. Yeah, that's just... what the fuck even is that? Alright, cool. Thank you very much, Ellie. It doesn't work. Oop. Misclick. It doesn't work. Alright then. That just does not work. How absolutely frustrating. Alright. So most forms of grouping are not going to work for this. Any amount of ragdoll is just going to shut it off. Maybe try Corden? there's nothing really left to try at this point. I don't want to see every form of grouping. I want to see this actually get shit done. And as far as I can tell, our best forms of beating the 8 light cap is some poxy soft grouping tools which don't chuck the enemies over. If they fall over, it fails. Between the really low chance of it starting in the first place, then the max number of Jade Lights. The low chance means it doesn't work on small groups of enemies. You need lots of them. The duration needs to be buffed to get to a decent amount of damage. You need the range to be able to affect a whole bunch of them at once. Strength doesn't scale the damage, it scales the fact that it even turns on. There's a 5% base chance. Just running with 5% for the moment. If you have 20 enemies under the effect of Light's Judgment, 5% per enemy, that should be 1 enemy every tick or 2 enemies per second that should be affected, right? On average. That's a lot of enemies to have in the zones, to have 2 enemies per second on average afflicted, which means you'll get your cap of 8 enemies in 4 seconds, and then you're waiting for the kills to happen, because in 4 seconds you certainly haven't finished killing. Yeah, the cap and damage amount just does you in. Mirrorlab, I'm not sure what your point is on this one. I can't tell if you're joking or not. Mirrorlab is saying, if you can kill 20 Dedicants with only 1 cast of Light Judgment without the Augment, Mirrorlab would say it's not so good, the Augment. But you can kill 20 with 1 cast with Augment, so you would say it's okay. That's gotta be some kind of Mirrorlab joke. That's gotta be. Because it takes far too long to kill Dedicants anyway. Because of the attenuation. I would say, I wonder if the beams lasting a long time is actually detrimental. Well, the beams will vanish the moment the target enemy is dead. If the target enemy isn't dead, you want the beam to still be there, because every half a second, it's doing all of the damage it dealt up to that point, again, plus a little bit. That little bit being 150. I'll say, I think a big change for it would be for the duration to be fixed. Instead, you scale the starting damage by the amount you'd have. By the amount you would have? Oh, right, so... No. Oh, you're wanting a really weird scaling of damage there, I think. Jade say, I think D was afraid of infinite ramping, that's why the base stat's so underwhelming. Yeah... I can understand being afraid of it. You know what's simple when it comes to game design? If you're afraid of a design, don't make that design. Genuinely. If you're afraid that something is going to be so unbalanced that you have to first nerf it into oblivion, don't do it that way. It doesn't even say here. No, it doesn't say anywhere on here that it doubles with every hit, right? So, it's not like it's baked into it. They didn't need it to double. No. Every JDX system in the game is running 250% duration. I guess. I mean, they also get a 100% activation, and they don't have to use the well, so... Maybe they've got their own augment. Can we have that one? Ah, but they have a long cooldown. Maybe not have that one. I feel like I've looked at this 7 different ways, and to be honest, there's no point me trying to finish a build with it, because just mathematically, we can't make it good enough. the only thing I can say about it is that we don't have to make it our only source of killing. We don't. We can have it just there in the background alongside the rest of what we're doing. But the problem with that is that to get actual value out of it, we still need it to have decent stats in the first place. If I go back to the Judgment build, which I'll be honest, it's been so long that I can't remember the exact gameplay required for the Judgment build. First of all, what do I take off of this to make this work? What do I take off of it? I guess Augur Reach? I guess? So if I drop Augur Reach, I can have Jade's Judgment in a slightly smaller area than before. But with this setup, our duration is down, so... that should actually still have the same number of hits, I think. But because we're going to have 95% duration, 2.85 seconds. So yeah, we will get the starting hit, half second, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. We still get the 6 hits that you get without modding duration. Which comes out to... I think a total of 9,450 damage. So that's not going to work. Did I try priming with Heat Inherit in mind? You can use Heat Inherit. It's a lot more work again to get buffs. But sure, if you want to use it, you can use it. It's good for Arcane Hotshot. When you say it's good for, it better be actually good. Gain 6% weapon critical chance for 10 seconds when using abilities to inflict heat status effects on enemies, maximum 50 stacks. Does Jade not have any other heat output? She does, so I don't think you need an Augment for that. I really don't think you need an Augment for that. So yeah, with this situation here, we get absolutely no strength scaling on the Augment for the damage. It is just the beam. The beam lasts for some duration. In this case, we're getting out not even 10k damage on something that has a 7% chance to happen per enemy per half a second. No. Armageddon build, 180% duration, works with Nourish, so that would need some reconfiguring there in the first place to be able to even fit it. But let's say I had that duration still on it, 180% duration on the 3 seconds originally. That's 5.4 seconds. That's 5 seconds is where the last hit's going to come in. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, 10 hits plus the starting one, 11. By my estimate, that's, what, 307,000 damage? That's going to kill some enemies. Don't know how many, but that is going to kill some enemies. If I have a look at an Elite Lancer... Elite Lancer at the start of Steel Path, what's their effective hit points? Level 101 Steel Path, effective hit points 1.1 million. 300k is not going to cut it. If you've got room in your build, you're using her one, and you like the pretty lights, sure. That's as far as I can get you. Now granted, with that 307,000, with the heat procs removing armor, with the heat procs dealing damage over time as well, you would eventually have enough damage there. Because you'd be roughly halving the amount of VHP with the halving of the armor. I think it's roughly that. Which would bring it down to what, like, ballpark 550k, 307,000 damage total. Heat proc 1 for another 150k, heat proc 2 with another 150, that's 600k, they should be dead. Can I test that? I can test that. 180% duration. Here's 179. That works. Okay. Let's test if that's correct. Without Archon Vitality for the moment, because that will take it further. Level 101 Steel Path Elite Lancer. Do they die 2 heat procs after the end of the ability's damage? So did they die within a couple seconds of the end of the ability? Let's just verify that real quick. Let's grab one of you. Steel Path level 101. Does this go the way I expect, or does it go a different way? I'm getting a duration buff. That's going to be longer than it should be. Hold on. There we are. Now my duration will be correct for the test. Assuming that's a UI failure at the top. Okay, he's going to get some starting damage from this, but it's tickle damage comparatively. Not concerned. Okay. He died actually with the end of the ability there. Let's get a redo on that one. I want to see the hit numbers that are coming with it. Recording up. Thank you. Recording off. Let's have a look at what's happening there. Trying to grab the video editing software I still have open and ready to go for exactly these kinds of investigations. So our beam comes in. Our first hit is 15 because they have 90% damage reduction from armor. Oh, it's too far out. So yeah, 15. 32. 146, 367, 873, 1745, 3491. We're going up. We're going up. And then 55, 850 kills. With... we see the big hit followed by death. And that death is that last damage number that shows. It's the heat proc that gets the actual kill there. Okay. So we can see most of the damage on screen right here, right now. Well, if we take that 55,850, times it by 2, add on the 27,898, 140,000 health. Max loss there. Roughly. There is an extra heat proc earlier on of 7k, another one of 1.7k. So we're looking at 140 to 150k health. The wiki is trying to tell me health off Steel Path is 44,491. 44,491 times 2.5 Steel Path. Wiki is trying to tell me 111k. Which, I suppose, yeah, that last hit could be actually overhit. Because we're seeing that chunk there is 55,000. And then a much smaller chunk was finished off by 27,000. So yeah, you know what? I'm going to zoom this right the way in. We're going to do this old school. Where did I put my ruler? Where did I put it? Okay, I have a tape measure. That works. I'm going to tape measure my screen now. Very old school. Alright, that is... oh, need to get that onto millimeters. I can't read micro inches. Never needed to. Sorry for you fellas who have to. Alright. So that is currently on my screen 21.2 centimeters across for the whole health bar, 21.2. And then the actual damage bar, this is so jank, I know, is 5.5. So 25.9% of this estimated stuff is that here. And that is the hit that came in for 55,850. So if I do 55,850 divided by that, I'm getting his health at 215,000? That's not right. That's not right. That's not right. So there's a hit there. Hit there. Did I perhaps measure the bar too big? Armor strip? The armor strip is in full effect by this point. It's been on him for 2 seconds. Oh wait, yeah, because... yeah, that's damage after armor. Wait, but that'll make it higher. No, it wouldn't, no. Damage after armor, and for that chunk of health, we see how much health is lost after armor. I'm trying to verify the hit points this Elite Lancer has, see if the wiki is correct to me. I'm not going to use a tape measure again, I'm just going to do this more properly. Grab that. Open this. It's not about damage increases and armor strips, y'all. The final number you see is the amount of damage actually taken by the enemy, theoretically. And so we take the actual damage done, and we take the portion of the bar of health lost, and that should give us their health. By all accounts. Theoretically. So, here is health bar. That is 784 pixels. Here is that first hit, somewhere in like here-ish. Which was, oops, 202 pixels. So yeah, 25.8%. Somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah, I did measure that right. The 25.8 is represented by this damage here. This is giving the Elite Lancer somewhere in the ballpark of 216,000 hit points. That is a lot more than what the wiki says. That is a hell of a lot more, but yet it still died sooner than I expected. Don't need to go anywhere, I can read it here. So Light's Judgment, I've got 180% duration, haven't I? 53.7 divided by 30. 179% duration. Sorry, my bad. 3 times that is 5.37, so we're expecting... yeah. 11 hits. So the last hit, up to 153,600 damage, yeah. Armor's still in the way there, so that's why it wasn't quite that amount. Okay. Actually, how many hits did land on it? Oh, let me work through to verify everything. Okay. 1 hit. 2 hits. We're just looking for the heat procs. They give it away the hits. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is the 11th hit. So that is 153,600 damage resisted by armor. Judgment gives 50% damage to vulnerability. To what? To the beam or not the beam? Because I've been using the same beam throughout. If it's always going to have a judgment on it, then it's as good as always got the same damage. I'm not reading 150 base damage off of a mod card, because they didn't give us that information. I'm observing the damage as it happens. This is with no corrosive projection. No corrosive projection. So the armor is at full scope to it. Max armor, which they did have, we saw that there. Max armor, 2700. Divided by 2, it's 1350 times 3. Square root that. Damage reduction of 63.64%. Which, if I could do this correctly, would expect to see a damage hit of 55,849. We actually saw 55,850. Quantization. So yes, that is indeed the correct hit. That is absolutely the correct hit. Mathematically, it is there. That is the armor reduction coming in correctly. The Elite Lancer just has a lot more hit points than the wiki is suggesting. I'm going to test a non-steel path one. I really hope I'm wrong about this next bit. Please, DE, please tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me the wiki is the wrong one. Please. Please tell me the wiki is the wrong one here. Recording has started. Place that on it. Wait for the effect. 149 per hit. 15 on the start, so he's definitely max armor. He has perished. Okay. There's no way. Wait for that first one to come in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we can see how much of a chunk that 8th one takes off. So he's nearly dead by the 8th hit. Let's measure this one here. How much is that? Sure, spawn over there, whatever. See what I care. So, full health bar is 646 pixels. This chunk here is 207. Again, I'm eyeballing it. 207, 646. 32% of his health was lost by that hit. That comes out to 43,572 damage. So health estimated. Wiki says 44,491. That's about the area. Oh dear God, no. So the wiki numbers I have for health off Steel Path are correct. Wiki says the level 101 Elite Lancer should have 44,491 health, and I've measured that it would have 43,572. Eyeballing it, mine should be inaccurate. Wiki should be accurate. We're in the same order of magnitude. But when I measure the Steel Path health, Steel Path is 250%, isn't it? I'm using Wiki, not Wikia. I'm using the up-to-date one. So, yeah, 150% bonus at 2.5 times. Yeah. So, 44 odd thousand health times 2.5 should come to 110,000, but what I was measuring was over 200,000. And if I take the health and I multiply it by 2.5 squared, I get 278,000. Is Simulacrum also applying Steel Path twice? Leave and come back in case it's bugged. Before I leave this one, in case it is a bugged instance rather than in total, I'm just going to grab Trinity. Just want to ask a question. Game. Just want to know how much damage this do. Not Steel Path. 6757. 6757 was the first one, not Steel Path. Steel Path. 16893. That's exactly 2.5 difference. So it's not that then. It's not that. If I spawn this one next to him, they should end up on pretty much the same remaining health. If I recall this correctly. But then... I mean, I might just have my numbers wrong, which is very, 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 very possible. Okay. That's good. That's what's supposed to happen there. If I... There's no way that it's related to Steel Path or not. Left is not Steel Path. Right is Steel Path. Same hits there. Dies on 55k. It's the last hit. Wait, did that turn on Steel Path for all of them? It might have done. Yeah, that turned on Steel Path for all of them. Both die on 55k there, whereas that wouldn't happen. If it split them like I thought. So, wait for this one. Dies on the 27k, okay. How long do streams usually go? 3 hours. Usually, or at least minimum 3 hours. Redo this test. Clearly, I'm looking at the numbers wrong. Clearly, I am looking at the numbers wrong. No Archon Vitality equipped. We'll verify in just a sec when the lack of heat procs, when they come in one by one. Come on. Come on. Yes, they're coming in one by one. We're seeing the damage numbers there. That is good. Okay. I realize I didn't look at his health bar, so... At least the rest of that was correct, yeah. Okay. Right. So we see chunky hit, followed by 55k damage. Wait, no, hang on. Yeah. Medium hit, 13k. Chunky hit, 27k. Another chunky hit. Okay. Oh, was that... Hang on. Is that one the heat proc? 2700 that was still coming in. Oh, that's why it looked so off. I see now. I see what's going on here. I'm just gonna follow this up bit by bit to be certain. Hit. That one, we can see from the proc count ticking up, that's an actual hit one. And it's at 13k. Then we have a hit, which is without a proc coming with it. So that is a heat proc. That hit is a 27k. There's our 10th proc. And then, you watch here. There are going to be 2 more hits. 1, 2. First hit to appear is the 55k. Second hit to appear is the 27k. But they happen the other way around. This is why my number was so far off. There is no double application of steel path modifiers. It's not broken. It's just that the damage numbers don't appear in sequence. Because they came from hit versus proc. And the proc just takes that much longer to fade in. And rethinking it that way, everything is fine on that side. The Elite Lancer does indeed have the health that the wiki is stating it should have. We're good. Okay. Damage number priority, yeah. That's frustrating as fuck. But now I know. So, that chunk there... We can see 2 chunks. This is death. This chunk here is 27 odd K. No. It is... Yeah, it's 27 odd K. 27,898. Okay. Which is the same as the chunk you'd taken there. And that accounts for, up to that point, about half of all the damage you'd received. Got it. Okay. You've been set up a spreadsheet looking at it's giving you depression? I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe change the colours. A spreadsheet looks so much better with proper colouring. Not random, proper colouring. Alright. So what can we take away from this? That the Augment still sucks? I think that's a reasonable thing to take away. That it's bonus damage along the way for the enemies that you've somehow not already killed over the course of many seconds. That's pretty much it. The Augment isn't really winning any awards other than, hey, look at this, isn't it pretty? And as a result, it only fits into high duration builds, already high duration builds, where you don't mind taking something out to have a little bit more duration. You felt like your Augment's very passive. Someone mentioned targeting enemies for the purposes of extending her to. Extend the duration of each song by killing enemies surrounded by judgments. I mean, I guess you can also just kill them by any means, but yes. it'll give you a passive increase. This particular build will be a bad one for it because I'm using Nourish for energy sustain, it seems, and to otherwise buff up the glory on high, which is why I've called it Armageddon. It's the raining of fire. So you would need to have your energy economy elsewhere. I'll be quite honest with you. If it takes that much work to fit it into a build, to then start peeling parts off the build, I just don't want it. I've looked at it 5 ways to Sunday, because it is Sunday, and I just can't find myself wanting it. Because the quote-unquote cool factor of Jade Light beams going around really just isn't enough for me. It's just not enough. I don't want to see beams pouring down that will eventually kill enemies on setups designed to otherwise try and forget the augments there. That's a shame. That is an immense shame. Let's dip out of there then. Jade Augment looked at, and I just can't get excited for it. I just can't. That's a shame. Right then, next up, let's have a look at Kalervo's one. I've got higher hopes for that. Kalervo's augment is Volatile Recompense. Daggers whirled in a ring around Kalervo for some amount of seconds. Let's upgrade this now. For 25 seconds. Slashing nearby foes and dealing blast damage and status effect before returning to the ring. Okay, slashing and dealing blast, that is a choice. Let's see how that feels. So, I did make a few builds for this guy, didn't I? Something happened here. Anyway, do you need adaptation on Kalervo? So this was before D increased the overguard cap. This was before. I built this when the overguard they gave you was like 5k. It was really low. It seemed to me that the design was to tank via health and that the overguard was this extra buffer that came about. It was also before overguard gate, yeah. So I worked with the frame they gave us, put in the effort, set up the build, made it happen, and people complained enough that D then gave us yet another shield gate. So, alright. Sure. What ability to subsume over on next? The one that isn't helping you with something that does help you. I don't know what your build is, Tactical Fatty. You're going to need to have a look at your build and see what you're missing. And then that is the solution. So yeah, this is old because D changed the game under me. How dare they? Let's have a look from the helmet setup. So, adaptation is out. Vitality might as well be out as well. I can leave it in for the moment. Rage is out. So many things out. As I was saying, don't know if base Kalervo 2 works on bosses normally, but Augment does not. Okay, we'll get to that one, absolutely. So volatile recompense we can have go into here. Duration is boosted by duration, that is good to know. Let's see, where else can I go with this? To be honest, for the sake of 11%, I'm going to take the Umbral Vitality off. I don't need Archon Vitality. I probably don't need Vitality in general, let's be real about it here. I don't need the Arcane Guardian. That can stay. Is there anything worth coming from this? When gaining a bunch of Overguard, release radiant attack applies max viral. That could work. That could work out. Let's start thinking along that line there. Hold on, how much energy we got? 225, it's 50 to cast. But then it should stay for a while. Shouldn't be terrible. Can try and give that a run. How's the duration on that? Shouldn't be terrible. We've got energy support here. Alright. What can I shove into that depolarity that'll make sense for me? Bearing in mind that radius reduction would be a little bit of a negative. So probably don't want to do that. Still feels weird to have a high elf, high armor frame and then go, yeah, nah, skip those. It feels wrong. It is how the designs ended up, but it feels wrong. Maybe Prime Flow? Yeah, sure. I don't know what shards I actually have on him at the moment. I don't. Okay, shows how much I've used the Let's Go Melee guy. For sure, why not? Maybe just more duration, to be honest, if it's going to matter to that there. And just screw the polarity. I think slot that one in, because then I'll have enough left over to also get Cunning Drift in here. Just get the range up a little bit more again, why not? I don't know if this is going to be what I want or need or desire from it, but let's just see what happens. Just run it through or something for a bit. And in terms of a weapon... When was the last time I used Brados? Sure, why not? Zom, in fairness, it was either health and armor is useless, or as and when you build it, the overgo was useless. Are you comparing situations rather than highlighting one? Because yes, originally the overguard on it was very low, and people were trying to overguard tank, and the video I put out went, guys, you can tank with not overguard. It appears to me the point is the overguard's just a bonus extra. But then D changed their mind on that. Fuck that, I guess. Let's take him to here. Exactly, yeah, Puffin, yeah. 5k overguard, no damage reduction. Yeah, I was going to melt fast at really high levels. But then at really high levels, you also have really high investment available to tanking. But the desire then turned out to be, nah, let's just make it where you can tank with just the ability. Somehow that missed him. Also, somehow none of them dropped an orb. That's frustrating.
The Orican Neural Sentry is attempting to purge you from this place. Stand by for life support.
So... is it just kind of generating a bunch of overguard? I think it is just give overguard until maxed out and then just stay maxed. Yeah, I guess that is it. To just make it more brain dead to use 2 for overguard. Hey, what if you could just shield gate forever? Is that what we got? I mean, that's certainly an augment. It changes how the ability works. Yeah. Spend mod slot to not spam every 2 seconds. Yeah, if that was your gameplay before. Oh, I've not got a companion equipped, my bad. If that was your gameplay before of just, oh, I'm just going to spam this ability for my defenses. Okay. Shield gate by another measure. And instead now it's this I mean, look at the damage numbers on that. Are we going to hit this guy again? Yep. 786, 762. That was a nice chain effect. Yeah, I can't find myself getting excited about that. It's working. Unlike the Jade one, which working would be stretching the definition of working. It is working. I just... Alright. It feels not dissimilar from just... almost like Eternal War, basically. It's its variant of Eternal War. Just rather than extending the duration based on kills, you're extending the duration based on still having enemies left around you to continuously get overguard from. Other sorts. Yeah. So if you're in a level of content that requires that amount of constant overguard, then Merry Christmas. Unlike Eternal War, it downgrades the ability strength. Downgrades the ability strength. Yeah, you gotta walk me through that one. How is it weaker? Is it substantially weaker? Has a return delay. It removes the invuln on cast. Oh, I see. I mean, there was a brief invuln on cast there, but yeah, you're not constantly reapplying that invuln, I get. Space ability is 15k overguard in a second. This gets like 700 every second. Hold on, let's take some damage. Come on, guys, shoot me. Yeah, it's going up by bits and pieces. I can't recast it. I'm just going to have to wait for some more damage to happen. There we go. Initial invuln, then it just builds up again. Okay. I mean, he still remains very powerful, but this is... I'm just taking Blitz Xmas hits to the face and then just immediately having Overguard again.
They know you're here. Prepare for sentient fighters.
Passively provides combo as well, does it? Oh yeah, so it does. Yeah, because the hits from his abilities give combo, yeah. I mean, he's still Kalervo. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. He is still Kalervo. I'm just looking for the bit where it's more than just
If you need to leave, extraction is ready.
cheesy shield gate.
These manifestations, they aren't from the neural sentry. Destroy them.
It feels like cheesy shield gate to me. Yeah, it does give you more combo, yeah. It's just having the ability constantly active, yeah. If I could be very honest, is Valkyr looking at this and wondering what the hell? Let me switch off my melee for a moment. Activate this. And I'm going to stand still. Can I die? If I just stand here. I've gained a mod. Oh, I took some health damage. Okay, I can die. There is a hole in the defenses. There is just enough of an opportunity to kill me. Valkyrie isn't dying post rework? Oh yeah, sure. I'm not saying Valkyrie is dead.
It is done.
I'm saying
Tenno.
I activated ability and stopped putting in effort. And it took a long ass while for that to kill me. How often are you playing the game by not putting in any effort? It's not often that I see something that makes it where you just stop dying. Now, someone say about how it was giving you so much less versus without the Augment. So let me just pop that off. Confusion, Revenant, effort. I mean, that's just part of the same discussion, really, isn't it? How many people brought up Revenant when the Valkyrie changes were announced? So, you know. Val can't be silenced to death now. There is that, yeah. Health tank is often the laziest form of tanking. Health tanking is often the laziest. You don't need to put in work so long as you've got the health. That's kind of the point. You just have enough to survive the threats. If you don't have enough to survive the threats, you failed your health tank. Yeah. Okay, so, with no overguard on me, I jump into these lot, I cast it, I've got 6.5k, 6467, cool. And just some upset Grineer. If I put the Augment onto it, I've still got my overguard. Game, I just changed my build. Why do I still have overguard? Let's go in again. Isn't there a reset button in Sim? Oh, you mean this thing here? I'll show you that in a sec. Alright, let's do that. That is definitely, it's taken 5 seconds to get to that point, but then it just keeps going. And is also apparently pushing everyone away from me. Okay, the pushing has stopped, but I've still got duration. Oh, right. The pushing away was the arcane, yeah. My bad. So let's use the reset button. Ah yes, much reset. Very wow. So, some parts of the UI don't really notice that the reset happens. Others, I can't normally recast this. I do that, the time is still ticking, but now I can recast it. The simulacrum does not reset very well. Don't believe in the sim. If things look weird, just reset. Yeah, the damage here is token. It's token damage. No one cares about the amount of damage these are dealing. So yeah. It's Overguard Gate the Augment. That's what I'm picking up here. Does it at least build combo? It builds combo at its own rate, yeah, but it builds combo. You can't make out the number? Let me go back into the group then. Let's reset. Actually, no. Split up enemies is fine. So I'm at 20 combo points at the moment. 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36. So I'm getting 2 combo a time. 2 at a time. Just to verify that's not something else going on. Nothing there should be giving more combo. Anything here? No. No. So that is 2 combo per second. Stops combo dropping? That it does, yeah. Unless your combo timer is under 2 seconds, in which case, what the hell did you do that for? I don't think there's really anything else to look at with this, is there? Is there any feature of it that I'm missing otherwise? It does 2 attacks a second, rather than all 10 daggers happening at once, which is why it took 5 seconds to do the full effect equivalent. And then it just keeps running. That's it. It turns from a 10 and done into a 2 per second. And that's it. That's all you get. The Overguard capsule exists. It's still healing you off of it. It still gives you Overguard at the same rate. Overguard Gate continues to be Overguard Gate, which means it near enough is immortality. Near enough because Overguard Gate isn't a second long. But yeah. Still does damage you if it ends without enemies near you. Okay, yeah. So if you build up enough Overguard, but somehow get to the end, there's no one, yeah, it's, yeah. Wonder how many blast procs you get? Blast procs of all the things looks like a very odd inclusion. Because they run out. Blast procs aren't this good to be worth including. Is it meant to be giving them a bit of a stagger? I thought that was Impact's job, let alone Blast was knockdown back in the day. Yeah. This doesn't need 2 hours about testing, and also 1 about bosses. Yeah, boss fights in Warframe, I'm seeing increasing sentiment, and honestly I kind of agree with it. Increasing sentiment that Warframe has too many situations where your abilities get turned off. Yeah. Tiniest bit is condition overload priming. I mean, bullet jumping is condition overload priming. See that? That also put a blast proc on. There's tinier than there's really tiny. That is 2 enemies per second tickled. Firewalker? Sure, yeah, that'd make it longer. Point is, it's just a thing. And yeah, there are a surprising number of places where abilities either don't work as you'd expect them to, or just straight up don't work. And I think perhaps the most egregious of them at this point in time is Mesa. She's a brilliant frame, don't get me wrong. She is absolutely ridiculously wonderful. Until you're looking at a boss unit. And if the boss unit has the flag no Mesa, then you wonder how on earth he recorded the Duviri trailer. The one with the big old sniff to it. Followed a little bit later by Mesa shooting a boss. Have I done the Vor Janus boss? I haven't as yet, no. I've just been putting off those kinds of things to focus on other areas of the update. So, would I want this to work on a boss? I mean, honestly, I don't see why not, I guess. Other than just Overguard Gate go burr. Yeah. Nukulevo can reach 32k Overguard. Cool. Alright, you got 320% strength. Nice. But yeah. That's just that Augment in a nutshell. Did you want Overguard Gate? Cool, here you go. It just continuously happens. How long does it last? You block the hit that hit you, and then you get, was it 0.3 seconds? So long as you don't get hit in that interim period between the hit and gate ending and the next activation of your ability, you're cool. considering Kalervo lacks shields, that's a bit of a handover to him, I guess. Yeah. Oh, God, of course. Here we are. That's what this mod is. It's just a different way of achieving reliable easy gates. It's just this one does it for you. We have auto melee, we have auto semi-fire, we now have auto shield gate. There you go. That's what it is. Alright. Next one I think was citrines. Alright, citrine. Empty build. Have a look at the... That's bursting. Empty build, please. Let's have a look, shall we? It is... Prismatic Companion. Alright then. Prismatic Gem Augment. The gem now attaches to your free moving companion. Passive plus 50% Prismatic Gem duration. How could this possibly go wrong? I mean, genuinely, could there be anything wrong with this one? It's just longer. Yep. The length, the duration going from 30 to 45 isn't showing as green, but sure, why not? Or is it adding it to the base duration? Hold on. Nope, it's not adding to the base duration. I think, wait. What is it? It was 30 seconds. Base. No, it is. No, it is adding to the base duration. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, okay. So it's times 1.5 duration. That's what it actually is, DE. It's times 1.5. Yeah. Oh. I just, I'm nitpicking. I know, I'm nitpicking, but I just, Dark Wolf. Cheers. Okay, so let's take a Araxia citrine build. I've read Tom's message. Let's see what we got here. What even is that? That is a really basic build. What was that? Did I copy something out of the words? Javiri builds? What are the arcanes? What is this? They got newbie. That's not a newbie build. What the fuck happened here? Okay. Some things were happening now. I'm not going to question them. Testing for Augment? Maybe. Maybe. Let's just build something around this real quickly. I don't really want to build around it. I'll be quite honest with you. It's... I mean, it's a prismatic gem that follows you. That's what it does. It's a prismatic gem that follows... well, not... Sorry, it's a prismatic gem that follows your companion. Is what it does. That's it. So if I just pop down to, again, the sim...
You are a true hunter.
Funny work with Sentinels? Ah, but then it would be following you. That's not what they wanted to give to it. So I've currently got it on a high duration, low range. Intentionally. So we put out some guys for the puppet to have a look at. We go, here, have a gem. Oh, look at the effect on it. Oh. Okay, that's cute. That is cute. So as a result of it carrying the range with it, it is very easy to be out of it, it seems that. Okay. Okay. So just take a core build with good range on it and just kind of keep doing that, right? Did I design this before arc and sharding things properly? I guess, because you can just put in the shards, so that can just go pop, pop, jobs are good. Do I have my beast on passive? Good question. Yes, the companion will avoid attacking. Yeah. I don't trust those mods to work. People keep telling me about them. Like, Ken, look at the posture mods. Aren't they great? Use them. Like, no, they're not great. So no. No. Maybe try protective? I'm not gonna. I've been through the stance mods, or whatever the mods are, the claw mods before now, and they have routinely disappointed me. I'm not gonna go through that again until someone can give me verifiable evidence that they've been made to actually work. I'm just not gonna go through that again. My sanity ain't worth it. Let's double check, make sure I'm satisfied to go in with this. Let's see how it rolls, I suppose. Let's just add on a shard, because I did take off the casting speed, so let's give it back. Let's go casting speed over here. I got blue shard on for max energy. You know what, let's balance it out. Some people like it when I do that. Why not? Yeah, all of the focusing things on the claws don't seem to really focus anywhere near what they say they're going to focus, whether it's offense or defense. But the effects they have, the effects do affect. The effects do, in fact, affect. For whatever good that is. Right, let's go. Where do I want to take her for this? Let's go for... Let's see how it handles in just a solid-ish area, where my companion shouldn't go sprinting off too much. Theoretically. Right, Fury, the whole point of only selling tickets to the purchaser is so scalpers couldn't get a hold of them. You're talking about buying a few and giving them to friends, but then there'll be other people that buy them to sell them. And that would just be toxic as all fuck. Are there better ways of doing tickets? Maybe. But ultimately, everyone's going to want tickets, and there's always going to be people that can't have them for one reason or another. That's just how it goes. Hello. Have I? Oh, I unmodded my burst by accident, didn't I? I was wondering where the fuck my damage was. I unmodded it when I was trying to switch Citrine build and then got confused. Didn't mod it again. I was wondering what happened there to my damage. A butcher survived it. There we go. Let's try that again. Oh, the multi-box is back in, are they, Alsu?
Of combat must be
I mean, if you want to risk it, you could try a smart bomb approach against all those RBs. I think it would turn out hilarious.
Life support has been cut off.
You could give it a whirl. You'd have to solo it.
Hold on.
It's manageable,
Auxiliary life
maybe.
support.
That's the damage I'm used to. Nope, this ran out. Okay. Shorter duration on that than I remember. Okay, so Companions got a pretty large area to them, it looks like. They are doing a decent job of staying with me because of such a large area. Like, I have to go out of my way to avoid my companion there. And why would you want to avoid your companion? He's a good boy. Or a good girl. Depends on who you got.
Life support incoming.
So yeah, it just allows the gem to follow you via following your companion. You need range on it to make it stick around, but aside from that, it seems good enough. But yeah, you do want a decent range, because pets do go for a wander around you. Not sure what I'd say would be the ideal range within that, but
I delivered a life support
so far so
capsule
good.
to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
Yeah, I was killing those enemies in all the wrong ways. We try that again. Now that'll do. Is it me or does... No, that was a different sound effect. Hold on. No, that was also a different sound effect. Hang on. I'm messing with you. No, that's different. That one there, that chime of the ability being activated slightly reminds me of the chime of the Underground in 1999. Just slightly. It's like a corrupted version of it. Maybe I'm just hearing things.
For a capsule.
Did I notice the bug for Claire's Augment? Seems like the Overguard proc speed is not fast enough. How do you mean the Overguard proc speed is not fast enough? What's the bug there? Walk me through this one, please. Come on, give me the fucking... That'll do.
Delivered another life support capsule.
That's okay, Kopi. You don't need to know. The only person who needs to know is the person who's telling me about it. We'll give them a moment to type. And we'll find out what they're on about. Did I try Mecha yet? I'm not sure what your question is. There is a layer of context just missing on that one, sorry. Mecha set mods. Now I know about the mecha set. I did do a video on it and have covered it in multiple other ways with multiple other brains. I don't know what your actual question is, sorry, Jeff. Because yes, we have used the mecha set today. In fact, this companion that's running around at the moment has mecha mods on it. But that's not part of this build. So, what is your actual question, please? Then I can answer that one. I answered it. Okay, fair enough. I'm glad you've got your answer. I hope one day I'll get the question.
30-second warning.
30-second warning? Yeah, I've not been killing properly, have I?
Additional life
Well,
support
the
has
companion
arrived.
walks with me, so there is that.
Life support
If someone pops off a mecha set, People say that at times. Like, okay, fair enough. Yep, there are indeed status effects that go in
Life
places.
support has
I find the mecha set is very useful up until the point where you want to actively use it. It is very good unless you need to look for it, and then it's absolute shite. Which is kind of weird. But yes, I'm aware as to the general capabilities of the mecha set.
Keep up the good work.
Let's get out of this mission.
Now to extraction.
There we are. Alright.
As you conquer the foe,
We haven't had any more on the overguard proc speed so far, so fair enough. No idea what that direction is, but that's fine. So, out of the augment so far, we've had Jade Light go not so blur, and also, dear God, the ragdoll effect is just ridiculous and useless. Calervo has gained near infinite overguard gate. Here we go, okay. Government saying, watching someone attempt level cap Calervo. Daggers not hitting enemies fast enough to make him unkillable during the duration of the second ability. Okay, and you're saying that should be the goal? Dubious. If you recall correctly, overguard gate is 0.5 seconds. Daggers from the augment are not proccing overguard fast enough to sustain invulnerability. Kaimones. I feel there is a misunderstanding here. When we describe things as bugs, it's because they are not working as intended. What you're describing to me is an expectation mismatch. You're expecting it will give complete invulnerability, but someone is not completely invulnerable. You describe yourself that Overguard has a less than 1 second gate on it, but the ability, as from my own experiment, hits every second. So there is going to be that window. I don't see that as a bug. If it is a bug, if you go, oh, sorry, our bad, it is supposed to give you literal immortality for the duration, then sure. But instead it gives you pretty close to immortality for the duration. Because you've got the immortality as a result of a hit comes in, you've got a break where you can't die, and then you've got a break where you can if your health is insufficient. But if that first hit comes within, doesn't come within the first half a second since you got the overguard, then the overguard gate will be there long enough for you to get your next bit of overguard. And so it can often look like it's immortality, based on the fact it's also staggering a bunch of enemies and just loads is going on. So yeah, there is frequent mortality, but as demonstrated early on stream, I just stopped my Calervo dead, put my melee weapons away so I wasn't blocking in the slightest, and it still took a surprising amount of time for something to actually hit me. You probably had the high expectation of hearing someone think they can level cap with the augment. I mean, they probably can level cap with the augment. They just can't do it quite so lazily as they hoped. I'm fairly certain if you took the level cap community and gave them a rusty spoon, they would somehow level cap with it. Something to do with the bending of the spoon, or just taking the rust and angling at the light, they'd find a way to level cap with it. Somehow. I mean, let's face it, ultimately you can level cap by just not being seen or using operator dash. Everything can level cap as a result of that. Everything else after that is just detail. Can't recast 2 whilst duration is on. Very true. Yeah, if you got that augment on, but then you could also do it by not doing that. I think that's what Zom's referring to, because Zom's got 2 messages, but again, split 1 point into 2 messages. And now you as chat know what it feels like as a streamer when someone splits their 1 point into 2 messages. Now you know how it feels. But yeah, there are loads of ways of keeping yourself going. Ellie, you should have waited longer. If you were going to make your point on that one. Right. I've forgotten what the last one is, so I'm going here and sort by recent, and there it is, Razor Mortar, Caliban. That's why I forgot. It's Caliban. I don't care that it was a rework. I looked at it. I wasn't that impressed. It's like, yeah, it's okay, I guess. You can sell your skin. It's still Caliban. Anyway, let's try and not be judgmental yet. Let's see. Do I have a... Oh, let's just grab a new one. I don't want to break builds, even if they're already broken. This one's a goofy bug. It slows the spawn rate of acolytes in survival. Source, please. That's weird. Alright then, so, Razor, Gyre, Augment groups enemies together while Lethal Progenies, Ortholis focus fire on those enemies with plus 70% electric damage and fire rate for 6 seconds. Okay. So, Lethal Progeny, Razor Gyre, bring it together, blah-de-blah. How are these things affected by stats? Duration and strength are affecting it in duration and strength ways. That makes sense. Considering that fire rate goes up and damage goes up, I'm seeing a double dip power for strength there. Straight away, that is double dip on the strength. Also, their base damage goes up with strength, which means that if the damage from electric scales with the damage from just damage, on top of the fire rate, that's triple dip on strength. Oh boy. That's assuming they scale off of strength like that. I'm going to check what the wiki says on that one, because the mod card didn't want to tell me. Lethal Progeny. Let's see. Strength is Caliban's rank times strength is sentient rank. Sentient rank, I assume, would affect the damage, but let's have a ganders. Let's see. Sentient fighters are summoned at a variable rank depending on Caliban's own Warframe rank, multiplied by his strength, with a damage multiplier of strength-based 2.5 times. Oh, okay. It's right there in front of me. I'm an idiot. I apologize. I am an idiot. It's right there. Damage multiplier. I was looking for damage, not damage multiplier. That's why I blanked over that, but that's still on me. Okay, yeah, the damage is there. So, yeah, damage gain from strength, and then damage bonus from strength, and then a fire rate bonus from strength. That's going to be a bunch. Joe's saying its suction only has 5 meter range at base, though. Ooh. Ooh. And it's just unlisted range? Oh, well, that's fun, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Well, let's try and build something around that then. Let's see what I can make happen with that. So, if I go for... Sod it. We're going to go strength. We're going to go strength then, yeah. Let's just strength it all the way up as much as I can for a moment. So, blind rage that shit. And let's go... Precision's no good to us. Do I just slap on Unbrought Intensify over here? I think I do. Let's do that. Summoner's Wrath. Fair point. Yes. Fair point. But no, it should be fine. It should be fine. Given all effects, yeah, that should be fine. Okay, cool. Let's grab those bits there. Gonna need to have the ability to actually afford all this crap. I might even go for a steadfast route on that. We'll see. What actually is my tank again? These are my tank, right? Yeah. A Lethal Progenies Ortholis. Oh, so you need the Ortholis out. We still get shield per second anyway. Maybe I want to go for a shield recharge on that. I do that, and Aegis to like really dial in the regen. I mean, Arcane Camisado because of the many attacks. That could work, yes. That could work. Let's try it out. Kind of overkill? Look, I'd rather overkill than have something to work back from rather than just dying. Theory Infection? Absolutely not, but thank you very much. I hate that arcane so much. I would rather it just cease to exist. No, I'd rather it get buffed, but if it's not going to get buffed, can they just accidentally delete it from the game? I think about 3 people would miss it. Maybe 4. Okay, I'm unlikely to need any of the polarity mods here, although I am going to want duration, aren't I? Yeah, so... And range could be nice as well. Let's get duration in here first. With that. Let's rock that for the moment. Habitation because only goes 50%. I'm going for a shield regen focus, so I should probably not need that, but we'll see what happens. What shards do I use on Dange? On Dante, if I didn't cover them during the Dante video, not certain what would pick that would be optimal for it. But that's why I did the individual shard guides to walk you through when to use those. So check out my shard guides over on YouTube. That should help you out. Alright. I don't think this is the right build for this, but I'm just going to give it a whirl. Let's give this a quick whirl. Where can I go with it? Let's... Honestly, I just like bullying these Grineer. I really do like bullying them. Buff on the Ortholist only triggers if you lift at least one enemy. I mean, it needs them to fire on the enemy, I suppose, yeah, so...
Honor them with quick deaths.
I probably could have gone with some energy max looking at this. Alright.
Life support has been cut off.
Ortholists.
They're trying to choke you out.
Here we go.
Hold on. I'm sending auxiliary
And then...
supply.
Okay, bit of shooty shoots. Are we bringing them all, or are we leaving some behind? It looks like we're leaving some behind. Not certain on that so far. They're shooting. They are indeed shooting. Is the shooting good enough shooting?
Life support on the way.
Pew 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 pew. I mean, it's getting kills. Things are dying. I have got some very generous tiles here.
I delivered a life support capsule to the
Can we hit this guy? There we go. There's something happened to him. You run 175 range? Yeah, fair enough. I was looking at the strength first and then duration as well, so they could actually use the buff for a time. Although, thinking about it, with the way I'm moving this, probably don't need the duration. It's definitely a wild one. Oh, I need to have these back, don't I? Duration is needed for that. That did some work. Okay, we got a whole bunch of them over here now. Electric does have a nice AoE effect to it.
Decided you're bad for business.
Can you get off my screen, please? Thank you. Oops, nearly under the stairs. You have shots help with duration? Yeah, fair enough.
Tenno, prepare for life support.
Do another swift. Go over here. Spin through the next group. Next group.
Another life support capsule is
Oh, that's alright, yeah. It's functioning. I'm not fighting to make it work, and we haven't even finished optimizing it. But at the moment, in terms of proof of concept, the concept is proven. You assume Ortholis was also trigger stretch? Archon stretch? Probably. It's 2 energy per second, but yeah, it's there. Slowly but surely. Handling. In fact, we're handling pretty well. The kill rate is doing alright. I say that as I then have a lull. Well, it's fine. Get fucked. So we get triple strength scaling on this augment. Just to be very clear, because of the combination of abilities, we get triple strength scaling. Strength times strength times strength. But Jade is limited to 8 beams with no strength scaling. Strength scaling the chance of even having it activate. Well, they're made by the same team. Like, is there a team out there that goes, yeah, strength everything, and then another team in the augment department going, I don't know. It just seems like she's having too much fun. Can't be having that now. This is Notice's refund energy mechanic, so even without our constriction, not a huge issue. Yeah, fair enough.
Extraction is available if you need it.
Yeah, I've noticed my energy is holding very nicely there as a result. You just have to make sure you hit something, which, considering that's what you want, it's not really that hard to achieve. I'm not using his other 2 abilities, so I feel like they could be somewhat subsume me. Also, that black energy is making for a very curious effect. The turning is very manageable on this, by the way. Surprisingly easy to manage. In fact, I turned too hard there. Ah. You can just do a loop around that. Would Roar affect the summons? I don't see why it wouldn't. Roar affects pretty much everything these days. There's a reason it's the most subsumed thing, near enough. If not actually. It just works. Fourth's the lingering AoE defense strip. True, there is that. I could just pop one of these down. See, 18-second duration? I mean, it's lingering. I can't see where I'm lingering it. Oh, does help if these are active at the time, doesn't it? Got my orthos. There we go. Wondering when that was going to happen again. Oh, goodbye down there, I guess. Gonna see the Acolyte problem here? Yeah. So we are 7 minutes in and no Acolyte yet. Which is curious. Yep, didn't fall. It's a very generous energy refund. How many kills do I have on the scoreboard? 709. So, a bit below the maintenance for live support. I might be getting a little bit lucky on that, or it might be not reporting some. Does kill count affect Acolytes? Acolytes are supposed to be timed, but they won't spawn if you've not got recent kills. But, we have passed the 8-minute mark and still no Acolyte. Let's see if I can get to 20 minutes without an Acolyte, eh? Okay, 15. I don't want to go 20. Oh, can I go 15 minutes, no Acolyte? Hurry up, please, lot. No! Smacked. Yours usually spawns at 12? Okay, we'll see what happens on that then. Glad you've already reported it. Leads me to wonder, how does this cause Acolytes to be delayed? What in the code is making that happen? We're getting kills, so it's not that. The kills are on the board, so it's not that. I'm active, so it's not that. Because I'm pressing forwards. So, what is the cause? Because we are now coming up on 10 minutes without an Acolyte. Proving this one basically confirmed.
The longer you fight, the more successful we will be.
Give energy plus... No, that's not energy. That is very rude. I want... Ah, that is the opposite of energy. Why must you forsake me? Thank you. Now, I am being assisted by my companion as well. I did see either a mecha activation or a... what's that? Contagious bond activation. I think it was contagious. No gun kills? I mean, I don't think you need gun kills to spawn Acolytes. Nope. My things run out. My bad. Look at the minimap is a bit silly with this. You do see them getting absolutely swirly. But yeah, this is just working. Brings the combo of abilities together. You get to use your Ortholis for some power. If you have some bright energy on it, I'm sure it'll look absolutely painful. And let's have a look at Camisado. Camisado insta-capped there. It's 0, 3, 10. 10. Still 10. The hits were landing after I cast. Still 10. Alright, 0, 2... I did find a quiet moment, didn't I? Let's do this here. Alright, 0... No, wait, that's because they've despawned. I was looking at the wrong number for a while. 10. Cast, still 10. 2, Do it 10. Yeah, Camisado is absolutely rocking life. And still no Acolyte. We're a little light on the Acolyte front. Just go away, Jade. We've had enough Jade shenanigans today. Go away. Feels like a better Inara Sandstorm? Honestly, I see it, yeah. I see it. We're nearly at 13 minutes, no Acolyte. This is a pretty spicy bug on that side, yeah. I'm doing all this with low range at the moment. Well, neutral range. Don't think I invested anything into it. I forgot to turn on summons again. This is just the initial build, no optimization yet. I will stop at 15 if there's just no Acolyte. If he doesn't turn up in 15 minutes, we're legally allowed to go home. Them's the rules. Hey, Bite. I think you might need to hit share message. Clever becomes an Aris. Shield an Aris, I guess. Button broke? Bite. Did you take a bite out of it? Buttons are not for eating. We've never been over this, but I hoped it went without saying. Watch it shows at 14:59. You never know, actually. You never know. I am going to start migrating towards the exit at this point. Exit is in fact this way. I knew that. Just got a continuous flow of enemies ahead of me. I think they're beginning to thin out. And yeah, no Acolyte.
They could not do this without you.
Yeah, that's pretty bugged. That is pretty bugged.
What you
Alright then.
here will serve you well.
What do I have the focus lens on? God knows. Could well be on my unused melee there. Actually, I can mouse over it, it'll tell me. Come on. Miscellaneous. Right. Yeah. So I've got one on my Praedos, my melee there. Praedos, yeah. There it is. A 4-star one, no less. Okay, top of the line. So... Every time you told this to streamers, you got incredulous till they tried it. Yeah, I mean, you can understand everyone being incredulous. Hey, did you know that the Augment on Caliban makes acolytes get scared? But overall working there. So, I was running that with decent duration, very high strength comparatively, but no change to range. Let's have a think then. I feel like Umbral Intensify is the one to remove here for that range. Problem is, I've got bloody Umbral Polarity, haven't I? How bloody dare. That's Quest to Conquer Cancer right there. I didn't put this one here. That's Quest to Conquer Cancer that did that one. Or rather, Twitch chat during it. Thanks, y'all. Here we are, nearly a year later, and it's still haunting me in places. Yeah, the one does regenerate a lot, so maybe equilibrium isn't necessary here. There were times when my energy was getting a little on the low side, but I could drop that. We don't need shield recharge, we're already immortal in one. True, if we're spamming that, we don't need that. So let's dump that, keep that for the strength purpose, because strength is nice. And let's go stretch.
I fixed it. 3.
Hey, you fixed it. Nicely. Nicely done. Bye, Bitson. Thank you very much for the prime resub there at 11 months. Much appreciated on that there. Just a reminder to y'all, as we do get towards the end of the stream, with the way this works on the stream in terms of hype bonus giveaways. This is a very cumbersome way of saying basically every time there is a hype train for every level we complete, that leads to more giveaways for the entire stream. Various bits and pieces can be won from former bundles, boosters, Signa, legendary core, lots of things on the wheel. And the way that hype trains happen is when a whole bunch of people decide independently to subscribe or gift subs at the same time. So, yeah, take your pick on that if you choose to support the stream as well. If you do it all together, even more good things happen. Okay, so let's see. The duration is more of a focus of keeping the lethal progeny alive longer, so I don't have to keep on resummoning them. There's more of a thing there, but yeah. What do I want on this D polarity? Do I put on the biggest DPS increase in the game? Honestly, I feel like that is overkill. Like, I know how effective it is, but I feel like I can just be a little bit more casual than having that much DPS on a build, so I'll leave that one to the side. But seriously though, not really a good pick on that. Primary direction? I don't need it. Fairly says I don't need it anyway. All that'll do is give me more hit points. And I don't really need that. This does give me more strength. Efficiency you don't really need. More strength is funny at this point. It's only 15%, but it fits and it's funny. Prime Flow is nice because Fusion Strike eats almost your entire bar without. That is true, yes. 190 to 155. I also wasn't really using that, but now I've got the range, maybe I should. Or I could shard that in. I don't need that much for it, do I? Mostly, yeah, I'll be honest, this depolarity is just kind of in the way here. If I slot this over it, Prime Flow is 14, isn't it? Oh, wait, I could do that. I have it. There we go. That works. Overextended and lose my strength? The strength that has given me the damage multiplier, and the strength that has given me the fire rate, and the strength that has given me the damage? Yes. That sounds terrible. Now what's put in the extra slot? I've got 2 capacity left over. Let's have a look then. 2 capacity left over. There we go. Alright. Perfect. That's a build. That should do the trick. Let's try this with a little higher enemies this time. Just a little higher, as a treat. Giving the big-ass middle finger to starting energy. Maybe a mistake.
These foes deserve your respect. Honor them.
Ellie with the jokes,
with deaths,
as ever.
and I with your victory.
I feel like that was a slightly more dramatic bullet jump reload transformation than was necessary. But it worked, so I will not be taking notes.
The Orican Neural Sentry is attempting to purge you from this place. Stand by for life support.
Okay, I don't have a lot of energy, so let's just pop one of these. Now I can do... That's the wrong ones. God damn it. Alright, more energy please. I made a mistake. Thank you. Let's go. 35 kills. Okay then. AoE mortars do go burr, after all.
Here due to the circulus's proximity. If you have any
Not using one to gain energy. I thought it only refunded. I didn't know it could be used to generate energy. My bad. Still picking up the pieces of all of this. Yeah, this is just what Inaros wishes he could be, isn't it? So, resummon them in here. There we go. So does it show what bonus I got there? No. But it's still a good bonus, I'm sure. Group them up. Lay him down. The damage numbers don't even seem that big, but it's just working. Oh yeah, mate, you're about to get screwed up. Okay, eventually get screwed. Just whatever. I'll just keep zapping through them, yeah. You could probably once again put mecha sets on it just for the status procs go burr, but it's getting boring. Mecha set is kind of like melee influence. You know it's there, you can use it if you want to, it's just, does it need to be mentioned?
Hi Ken.
Hello, Ridiculous. Thank you very much for your subscription. Up onto 5 months now. Much appreciated. And hope you're doing well. Let's get those in. What was our kill rate looking like? Over 300 in 2.5 minutes. Yeah, let's do some work. Oh no, Huin's down. Whatever will I do without Huin? Oh, I can get Moon in still, I suppose. Let's just travel back to where some enemies have still spawned. New summons. And back to the spin. It does look like there is a risk of causing the spawns to spread out a lot. Gotta watch out for that. I see a group. Groups are good. Groups mean blaps. We're at 448 kills in 3.5 minutes. This is working. This is definitely in the category of working. But is it good enough? Lavos is still in the game after all. So, can't go a whole stream without mentioning him. No, honestly, this just feels... This feels like a very unique way of playing Caliban. Makes utilization of 2 abilities. We could use more of them if I cared to put in the effort, but I don't. Not even using weapons? Yeah, it is a goofy caster approach. And in this level of enemy density, that actually gets somewhere. In lower densities, I imagine it's going to be far less effective. But then in lower densities, you don't need to be quite so effective. Because you don't have survival kill rate demands. We're back to spin to win? Yes, we are. Maybe don't stand still for a while on the no tank build. There we go. Recovered it. It's all good. It's all good. There we go. In with that. 626 kills in 5 minutes. That's pretty nifty. Destroyed. Annihilated. Alright, cool. That's good enough for me. Wait. There is that down from the ability. If you want to use it as a travel method, it's not as great. It's working well enough. Can I float out of it? Oh god, no, I can't. And yeah, still no Acolyte. Wasn't going to stick around for the full thing, but yeah. You can jump out of it? Can you? Oh, my bad. Tactical Fire say, hey Kent, do I say thank you for the D&D stuff? Help guide me down a path of awesomeness, so thank you. Hey, splendid. Let me know how it goes. Assuming you are the DM, or hell, whoever's running it, just let me know how it goes, absolutely. I will be honest, that is the biggest letdown for me personally so far from this whole D&D project I put together, turning all the Warframes into D&D monsters. I have so far heard, outside of my own playtesting, two actual stories as to how they've been used. I know there's more stories out there. I can see the downloads. Share, damn it. Let me know. Was one of them your sortie? Yes. Story, but yes. I was going with the typo, but sure, why not? Why not? Alright then, so that is a brief summary of the 4 arcanes, and I gotta say, they are not equal. You have a question? Sure. What's your question, soldier? Whilst I look at this and go, Jade's Judgment, I judge it. Bad. Just bad. It's not worth consideration. Volatile Recompense, very much not my cup of tea of a design, but sure, if you want to have near immortality, even lazier, go for it. Prismatic Companion makes the companion shimmery rainbow to already S tier. Just love it. Also, by the way, it's nice to use. And then Razor Mortar actually gives an interesting new approach to the Razor Gyre Ortholist combo. And considering how much I despised Ortholists after their rework, that is an improvement. So we have A tier actually. Like, it kept up, it did work there, I like that. B+. I can't give it an A because it doesn't work with Sentinels and I use Sentinels all the time. So B+ it is. Volatile Recompense. Ungraded. Conflict of Interest. Jade's Judgment, F. It's just not it. Alright, how to go about making and converting own Warframes to D&D monsters? Like, do you have a formula you could use, or is it just trial error research? So part of it was referenced from the Blog of Holdings research into challenge rating and how that weighed out in terms of monster damage output, monster tank for damage input, and further assessments around that. But the Blog of Holding actually came to a logical error in their output, and I ended up fixing that myself. Beyond that, it was scoping out, comparing to other monsters, comparing to those tables, running through playtests, and yes, my own formula as well. In terms of the stat blocks are much more free-form. There were some design considerations, like high intelligence, low charisma. They were designed as Warframes, not as Tenno-piloted Warframes. So they have the knowledge of war, they're very good at war, and so they know how to do it. But they're not the most friendly and endearing sorts. They're not the most authoritative. Hence the intelligence, lack of charisma. Also, smart monsters are just so much more fun to DM. So much more fun. But yes, it is work. Question I have for you, though, is if you're saying how would you go about making and converting your own Warframes to D&D monsters? The Warframes are there. So what is it you're converting? That's my question to you. Bye, I'm very sorry, I have a drip of tea left. That'll have to do. We are past end of normal stream time, and by that point I have run out of drinks. Like, low intelligence hurts you a little inside? Yeah. Smart PCs, I can kind of handle. Sorry, not so smart in PCs. Smart PCs are great, but not so smart, I can kind of handle. Dumb enemies, it makes it hard to really give much depth to an encounter a lot of the time. When you're fighting mechanics rather than creature, at least for me, I can see it too easily. But that's me. Tactical say, doing a campaign with custom theme designed by your participants' warframes. So want to convert them to do specific things like monsters. Oh, I see. Right. So your warframes, as in not warframes that exist, your own creatures that act in a warframe sense, that use the warframe template but otherwise are their own thing entirely. With respect to that, without you knowing how to homebrew the monsters yourself and follow the formula, I would otherwise say take an existing warframe or handful of warframes that are as similar as you can get to it, and just use that as your template to build from. So the very earliest part of the designs for me for the warframes was actually based on dragons, because the dragons had the 4 tiers, from Wormling all the way up to Ancient Dragon, and that was what I was looking for in terms of having a Initiate, Adept, Master, and Prime. So if you use that as a template, that's going to be about the best for you because you have that assurance you're working in the right ballpark. But like with myself there, where the dragon bit fell off very quickly because I then was well established with it, you'll have the same experience of getting well established and moving on from there. But yeah, if you've got that as a basis to work from, and as long as you don't try to change the numbers too much, just the theme of it, you should be okay. I will say, don't get hung up on just damage numbers though. Do bear in mind, not so much action economy, but threat economy. This is something that comes up in various kinds of tactical games, so it's something you may be familiar with in general, maybe not by those names, but threat economy is a big part of the designs you want to be looking at. Something that is really, really threatening, but only in this very narrow line, it's not actually that threatening. Whereas if you take something which is a cone and just extend it a little, that can actually change the nature of the game quite significantly. A 30-foot cone and a 60-foot cone are hugely different because of the limits of ranges that come in with that. So long as you've got that in mind, as well as the overall damage numbers, you're probably in a good spot. And yes, as Byte says, if you need your party to run, just throw a pink grandel at them. That works too. That works too. Right. I think it's about time we do a platinum giveaway. If you haven't already grabbed a ticket for the giveaway there, exclamation mark ticket in the chat for a chance to win it. We're giving away 75 platinum to any one viewer very, very shortly. You could be on PC, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, or on mobile. Everyone's got the same chance to enter, just one ticket per person. If the bot says too many tickets, you're already in it. Let's give it a moment on the all to grab tickets there. When do I plan on making a video on the Valkyrie real work with builds after Heirloom? I will get around to it when I get around to it, to be quite honest. I don't really have a schedule planned out as to which video will come when. There was the big obvious one of covering Araxia first, that is due on Monday, but after that it is more, okay, what grabs my attention next? I will say that for me, Valkyria is a poison chalice. I look at Valkyria, that whole situation around it, and to be quite honest, with the sheer reactions I got, and sheer reactions that DE were getting on the changes in the first place, quite frankly, I'm put off wanting to touch it. A big part of me being a content creator, rather than some, frankly, lucrative job, is because I enjoy doing it. I don't enjoy talking that topic now. Valkyrie is just a problem mess, and so quite frankly I'll leave that to other people, for a time at least, until I've exhausted other things that I'm more interested in covering. So yeah, that might not be the answer you want to hear. In fact, I'm fairly certain it's not the answer you want to hear. But that's what came as a result of that whole mess. And it was a mess. Not happy with that, but that's how it went. Anywho, I think that's enough time for everyone to grab themselves some tickets. So let's close up the entries on that and see who our winner's going to be today. Boop. That's a close. All tickets are in now. All tickets are in. If anyone still wanted a ticket but didn't grab one, tough. You've had more than 3 hours. But with that then, let's have a look. The winner today of the Platinum giveaway is Cagreth. C-A-G-R-E-T-H, Cagreth. Congratulations, you are the winner today of the Platinum giveaway. I'll be contacting you via Twitch DM shortly after the end of this stream. Get hold of your Warframe username, your platform, and if you got cross-save turned on or not. You'll know if you have it turned on. You have to go through a whole process to do that. But there we are then. Cagreth, congratulations on that Platinum. Spend it wisely when it arrives. To everyone else though, thank you very, very much for joining in on the stream today. That is where we are going to wrap it up. How much plat is it? It's 75 plat. Big old 75. You get yourself many different Warframe slots or weapon slots with that. You get yourself some potatoes. Wherever it goes on that. It is certainly an amount you can put to good use. And if you got your own personal plat, you know, traded plat or purchase plat to go alongside that, you can use the two together. It's not a problem. You just can't trade it. That's what you can't do with it. Anyway, let's see. Who can we raid on into today? I'm sure there's going to be loads of people in the category. What with the old drops going on? I'm sure I'm not the only one noticing there are quite a few extra faces around at the moment. I love having you all here. Absolutely. Let's see. So there is Neo there. So there's a Pupska. There's a Gaz. There's a Whiskey Cat. So Warframe Explained. Runa, Blue Runa, Saluzia, Jade-chan, Barney Jack. I'm noticing a lot of VTube in all of this lot as usual. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I don't want to go somewhere we've gone loads and loads of times before, but also I've had enough very mid experiences raiding in someone on a very small stream before now where I don't want to give you guys a mid raid. Pupska drops are off because rerun. I mean, we're not going to raid into Pupska anyway. I just don't raid into Pupska just in general, quite frankly. So yeah. Warframe small creators are hit and miss. I mean, you can take Warframe out of that. Small creators are just hit and miss in general. Hell, no, let's be real about it. Creators are hit and miss in general. There are large creators where I've tuned into their stream. I'm going, why are there 100,000 people here? Or something crazy like that. I watch their stream, and I'm trying to be understanding. I'm trying to get past initial impressions and go, okay, so what are people liking? Is this guy just loudly playing FIFA and screeching? Okay, and then my ears break because they screech even harder. So yeah. Yeah, Kobe Human. Honestly, yeah, you're correct. People are hit and miss. Absolutely. People are absolutely hit and miss. So let's go for someone who is definitely not hit and miss. It is all hit, no miss. Let's head on over to Gaz today. We can't go wrong with heading over to Gaz. We've been there a few times over. It's always been a welcome experience. So long as they're not ending right this second, which I hope they're not, we could do that as well. Anyway, raid is up. There we are. Raid is up. We'll be heading over to Gaz now. Again, thank you everyone for joining in, and I'll see you in the next one on Wednesday. Till then, have a very good start to your week. Bye-bye.